Yo, what's going on, people? It is Royal Rumble week, but more importantly, WrestlePurists Awards voting is ending very soon in the next few days. So I thought it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to go through the nominees, talk about who's nominated for what, and all those kind of things. Deep dive into it. See what you guys think in the chat. Who should be winning these awards? Did anybody miss out on getting nominated? All that sort of stuff. We're talking awards. We're talking the best of 2025. That's what we're doing. And even more importantly, we're going to get the Hulbert ballot. Joe's going to be revealing who he's voting for. He may even explain why he's voting for who he's voting for. We'll see, you know. But yeah, first things first, Joe. What's going on, brother? I know you've been up all night putting together your ballot. You messaged me at like 6:30 in the morning saying, "Listen, I think I've got it finally. I can get my head down." You've been hard at work. You've plucked the grey hairs out. You here?
Yep. I'm trying. You're right. You're absolutely correct. And the beauty of this show is I could explain my picks. I could lie about my picks also. Anything's possible. If I do lie at the end, I'll go, I was lying about that one, but I don't intend to. It's an exciting time. Award season rolls on. We have some very prestigious awards to talk through tonight. Some I feel very strongly about. Some I feel not so strongly about. Some I'm actually almost entirely ignorant to. So this should be an interesting journey, an adventure together as we battle through the historic. What year is this for the Purists Awards? Fourth year? 23, 24,
Sounds about right.
We would have done
Sounds
2022, right? So 20, yeah, it would be right, yeah, fourth. So, big business. I'm excited to be here, Montel.
Happy days. Before we dive into the awards and kind of the technical stuff, you know, before we dive in, before we lock in, before we pull up the big board and all those things, I want to just talk about what's been going on recently. Over the past weekend. It is Monday, so let's just talk about what's been going on. I think AJ Styles is obviously the big thing. You know, that's the story over the weekend. What a match with Shinsuke Nakamura had at Saturday Night's Main Event. I think there isn't a single person on this planet, even if you had high expectations, the expectations that high. You know, they willed that match into being something that will probably struggle to get topped by others in WWE this year. To be honest, a really special match. I said last week that I don't think AJ is actually retiring. After that match, I think they've won me over. I think they've worked me into it. You know, they've the sheer passion they wrestled with convinced me. I was like, "There's no way they're doing this if AJ's not retiring next week." Yeah. But maybe I could be wrong. You know, people love this business, but yeah, man, AJ Styles Nakamura, John.
Yeah, it was pretty special. I was there in New Orleans for their infamous WrestleMania match. It was the match I was most excited for. As a fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling in the mid-2010s, they were specifically kept apart in that AJ run. They didn't touch it all until it was time for them to go face-to-face at Power Struggle 2015 after Shinsuke's defense against Carl Anderson. And as soon as they shared the screen and AJ picked up the Intercontinental title, the place rumbled in anticipation and excitement. And it was a very special moment, their match at the Tokyo Dome, now over 10 years ago. And they had many attempts at recapturing that magic in WWE, and you know, some of the rematches were good, but there never really was anything close to what they had in Japan. It clearly meant a lot to them to like kind of right that wrong and redeem that. What I found most moving about the match was, while it obviously had those intentions and it was a grand big match and it had time, it never felt like they got lost in like the hunt for wider acclaim. It actually felt more like it was about them doing it for themselves, which can be that can sound critical, but I don't mean it that way in this case. It's like the match kind of just lived and breathed a little bit, and it didn't feel like they were constantly like, and now we need to do another big thing to keep for the. It was like they kind of trusted themselves, right?
Yeah,
like, we've got
100%.
time, and they just danced, dude, and they just went out there and worked, and like, man, AJ Styles is just remarkable. You know, 48 years young, over 20 years removed from the physical marvel that exploded on TNA television. But I do think quietly he's not the story. But Shinsuke Nakamura, like, what a cool performance from him. Probably his best of the decade, right? Not probably, is his best of the decade, easily. Physically looked really sharp until like the final third he started to feel it a little bit, but he still looked really good. And like,
they were going for it though.
It was a beautiful thing, and I've had fun at this. Like the youth movement stuff kind of drives me nuts because I think a lot of it's just like, I've discussed this behind the paywall on the Joe Monty show, which you check out every Friday, but it's an example of like how old guys should approach wrestling. It was aware of its limitations and its context, but they maximized everything they can still do. They played familiar tunes, but in a way that was more suited to where they're at physically. Like, and to be honest, AJ physically is still like a freak, but it was great. Is my point. It was absolutely great. WWE actually had some really good wrestling last week. They had that, and they had the Finn Punk match.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Both, veteran matches that I thought were just great. So probably the most I've enjoyed two WWE in-ring matches in some time, to be honest with you. They were really to my taste. I loved it.
Yeah, the Shinsuke AJ thing, you took what I was going to say out of my mouth, man. Like, it really did feel like a living, breathing thing, and they were very determined to make it something that they could be proud of. And in turn, we got what we got, which was, of course, a very special performance from both of them, Of course, Shinsuke caught a lot of us by surprise, Yeah, definitely, I'd agree. It's his best performance of the decade, It's, Shinsuke's big performances have been on occasions, so like the Muta match, I really enjoyed that when he was on his own retirement run, and he showed up for that, man. Like, what a performance that was from him that time. Then of course this past weekend, so he's capable, he's capable. Maybe not every night, maybe not every house show,
right?
But he's still capable of rising to the occasion, when he calls for it, like it did, of course, for his friend AJ Styles. And yeah, man, like I was saying, I didn't quite believe it was going to actually be the end at the Rumble. I thought, like I was saying to Joe on our show on Friday, like, AJ can, I know he's gone for the speed scene, but this is WWE, isn't it? AJ can somehow scam a win out there, but of course, you wouldn't do the retirement match as the first match in a series if you're going to do like a 3-match series or something as well. So there's that element to it. But still, I just couldn't quite buy it until this Saturday, when Shin and AJ did what they did. Yeah, it does. And obviously Shin did, he wrote his message in his diary about AJ, which he posted on Instagram, which he then deleted from Instagram, which may have revealed the cold truth, Yeah. But yeah, who knows? Maybe we're getting worked, I don't mind getting worked in my old age now, Joe. It's part of it's part of the ride. You're a wrestling fan. Instead of focusing so hard on trying not to get worked and this and that, and just enjoy the stuff, man.
For sure.
You don't need the agendas and beating the washed allegations and
I as a fan, I think if you're a big AJ Styles fan, I think it probably would be a good idea to treat it like this is his last week as an active pro, because it feels like it might be. He's a big time perfectionist, dude. Like, his biggest fear, he's talked about a lot, is being like the guy that people watch and go, man, he used to be something. And it's just, I think it's weird, like, it's very AJ that he would do this, but it's kind of jarring the month after. Like the month after two of the all-timers and like two of the generational kind of two of the great rivals of his go out after like a year-long farewell. He's just going to kind of go, right, I'll see you next week. Like, it's kind of weird, but it's also kind of how he is. Like, I don't think he's very interested in like a grand. He'll just have a match and lose, I think, and probably bow out. But I have sensed a lot of people kind of just reflecting upon, and it feels like in the early 2020s we lost a little bit of sight of how important AJ was and how much he meant to wrestling, and I think we've probably in the last 2 years regained that a little bit. I mean, has there ever been a more apt nickname than Phenomenal, dude? I mean, like, that's him, right? So
he's it's too soon, man. He needs to. We need a few more months, bro. It's. I think with AJ, it's like with Cena and Tanner, it was like, especially with Cena, because it was just like he came in to do his retirement run. You know, he wasn't a part of the current product. You know what I mean? Like, so we came in, we knew what it was. He coming in, retirement run, a whole year of it as well. Bunch of sold out shows, blah blah blah. You've heard it all before. But yeah, with AJ, it's just like he was still doing it. You know, he had a great feud with Cody not that long ago. Do you know what I mean, for the world title? Anytime, and although us as fans would have liked to see him be called upon a bit more in more higher up spots since then, and any time really with AJ, I think that would be quite fitting, to be honest. But he's still so capable, like, of any given night on weekly on Raw or SmackDown or whatever. Like, he's still doing it. So like, in terms of like, he'll be a bigger miss from the actual current product, if that makes sense. And both,
sure.
even Tanahashi as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he would do his thing on the tours, and
It's
it'd be
different.
okay. Especially obviously with the last year, he locked in quite a lot, you know. But it's just different, isn't it? Whereas AJ, it feels like we're losing one of the actual current guys, you know, who's still
one of the,
he's still one of the
engines of
best in
Raw.
the world, bro. Like, he's right up there, man. He's yeah, again, like I said, anytime he's been put in a spot, like, I think he may even be put in a spot tonight. Tonight could be his last Monday Night Raw, you know. And I know you'd say he's more synonymous with the SmackDown brand, you know. But tonight could be his last Raw. Throw CM Punk at him or something, man. Fuck it. You know?
I mean, that would make a lot of sense. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. I hopefully get something cool tonight. It is a strange one. I definitely agree, and it's been weird as he is, you know, not in a dissimilar way to what Flair was at the end of WCW, where, you know, Flair was approaching 50, but he was still kind of a guy they would turn to, like, give us a good match on Nitro tonight. Like, AJ has been that a lot for Raw. Like, I watched the Usos Dragon Lee tag, and like, he's kind of like the thing that makes that like work, that match. You know, like, that just doesn't really make any sense because his status. He's a legend who very seldom has been used like a legend. He's often used as just like he's one of the guys on the show who has matches because of course he is. That's exactly how AJ Styles would be used, right? He's like very low maintenance in that way, and he wants to go out there and have matches and tear it up and entertain the people. So he's been a great pro wrestler to watch. I am, you know, kind of just it's wild to me his WrestleMania resume. But he has so much great stuff. Like, if you in terms of wrestlers through history, if you could rank like, okay, who do you most want a 3-hour comp of to just watch for the rest of your life? AJ's got to be up there, dude. Like, he has so much
he's
cool
in the
stuff.
conversation, bro.
He even has good tag stuff. You know, he has like the TNA Ring of Honor early days where he's just a freak of nature athletically. He has the New Japan main event run, the WWE epics. He does like some comedy sometimes too. Like, he's pretty much perfect.
The
right?
Omos tag.
Yeah, he's so well rounded. Like, he can kind of do anything as a pro wrestler. So yeah, he's been special for sure. Very, very special.
Yeah, and of course, Gunther awaits at the Royal Rumble. Joe Hulbert, and I think that'll be another special one for both of them. You know, AJ's just coming out of a special match. Gunther had one, obviously, we've seen. They had a good match on Raw already. They've already, you know, had a feel for each other. Yeah, and Gunther, assumably, at this point, we're assuming he's going to get the job done and put AJ Styles to bed, you know?
Yeah.
And, yeah, man. Gunther's probably going to quietly build his rest of the year case especially from this first quarter, you know. We'll see. We'll see. I wouldn't be mad at it. I don't know how you'd book it, but it is WWE. They can do some fucking weird finish where Gunther's beat, but not really, or whatever, you know.
There's definitely most people still have like an element of something weird's gonna happen. 100%.
Evil's gonna debut, Jericho's gonna debut, DQ, non-finish. You know, there
I'm
could be
no
some
longer
horseshit ahead.
convinced that I think we're just getting a retirement now, but there are a lot of people that are still like, well, we'll wait and see. You know, like there's absolutely.
The Saturday night's main event had like, and I use this very loosely with WWE's everything WWE, but it was almost too classy. You know, like the
Yeah.
time they allowed them to have and
Just let
stuff,
'em work,
and
yeah.
that's when, yeah, this is what I mean. That's why, like, by the end of it, I was like, oh, this is actually it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man. I don't know, Joe.
And it's also 10 years, his whole run, like in WWE. So
Yeah, it's
I think it's probably a wrap. We'll see.
if AJ isn't done, I think he wins by count out.
Maybe. Anything's possible. Anything is possible. But I'm leaning towards true. I'm leaning towards this being the end.
Yeah. Oh, AJ, man, we'll miss you, brother. We're gonna miss you. I hope we get a little extra either tonight or maybe even on Friday, for SmackDown. So we'll see what it goes. We'll see if we just get the Gunther match or not. I'm sure they'll do some stuff with him tonight or on Friday because, of course, you know. We'll get the video packages. We'll get the. They can use the TNA footage freely now. It's
Yeah.
they can do it a lot. But yeah, elsewhere on the Rumble, I guess we'll quickly glaze over the actual Rumbles themselves, because I don't know who's winning, bro. Like, I seen a tweet on Twitter yesterday, and apparently Liv Morgan and Roman Reigns are the favourites to win the Royal Rumble. Liv Morgan doesn't stun me or anything.
Yeah.
I'd personally just put the belt on her, though. Like, you know, like, we don't need to wait till Mania to, like, just get where we're probably going to get anywhere. Like, just, you know, and I love Stephanie, but, you know, for the kind of current landscape of that division, I'd probably just go straight to Liv now instead of, like, dragging it out. So, yeah, I can see Liv. Roman would be, like, hilarious, but would it be that surprising?
No, there's always a chance with Roman.
Yeah.
It's a really weird year for the Rumble because they haven't really, like, promoted the Rumble matches, really. I think the Women's Rumble, I can't shake the feeling that one of Rio is going to win it, and that's going to be the big story on the road to Mania is them trying to navigate that with their title reign. I don't think they're going to be the tag champs at Mania, so I think that'll be like a thing. I kind of feel like Jacob should win the Men's Rumble, I'll be honest with you. He feels like the hot hand to me. He feels like the guy that the people are like, you know, he's exploding again right now. We saw this before last year, right? And they just kind of stomped it out. I think Jacob's the most interesting option for the men. But I'll say this. Look, it is an interesting road to Mania, seemingly, because it is all over the place. The key there is that they have a plan, because if they have a plan and they're confusing us, and like that can be really fun, right? Like the idea that anything's
definitely,
possible.
yeah, of course.
If they're also misled, that's less fun. But right now, I think they've made a pretty decent start to 2026, and there's actually some like genuinely interesting options on the table.
You keep singing SmackDown's praises to me, you know.
That's not true, but I appreciate it.
Yes, it is, Joe.
It's been better.
You message me when it's on. You tell me about what Alexa's up to. Does this sound fake to you? Yeah. Does this sound fake to you people in the chat? You know, this is what he does. He talks up SmackDown. He talks up what Alexa Bliss is getting up to, who she's putting over.
Have you seen what she's been up to on SmackDown? I haven't talked to anyone
putting
about
over young talent, brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. SmackDown is not. I wouldn't say it's necessarily good, but it's been better. Definitely been better. The women's division is very unfortunate. The stuff with the guys has actually been pretty good, I think. Decent.
Yeah, man. Carmelo running with his US title.
Yeah, Melo's been awesome as of late, man. Awesome.
Yeah, man. He's I think I said it to you months ago. Like, one thing, even if I don't think Melo's like this future multi-time world champion, top star in the business and stuff like that, like. One thing I've always appreciated about him is that whenever he's given like any sort of opportunity, he does really wrestle like he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yes.
Like, his sheer effort really comes through his matches, you know. Regardless of what you think of them, if that makes sense, you know. And it's not just stuff for stuff's sake. You can tell like he puts forth, he's always trying to get better, like, you know. Right. He'll take risks, he'll let Ilya kick the shit out of him. He'll do all that stuff, man, you know, so what we got here? Kathleen Kennedy, appreciate you with 14 czar. Percentage chance on Rock returning since no Oscar buzz. Oh.
I don't see it this year. I think next year is very
Not
important.
at the Rumble. It's too soon.
Yeah, I think he's still gonna continue on with like the I'm a real actor now era of his life.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
but he is insane, so it's a fair question. He could just show up.
Yeah, I don't see him showing up at the Rumble. I could see him potentially showing his face at Mania or doing something at Mania. I could see him, and I'm quite convinced he's doing something. I'm not sure if it'll be fully wrestling, but it'll do something somewhat significant at Saudi Mania. I would think
That feels like a fair guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree.
they're gonna offer him too much money, like So
Yeah.
and they may even get Steve out as well,
It's gonna be an interesting night.
I don't know if Steve. I'm nowhere near as confident on Steve as I am on Dwayne, but yeah, I think Dwayne's defo at Saudi Mania, so that means he might be at the next Rumble, or whatever. But he, I don't think he's. Yeah, I don't know. Dwayne, do you think Dwayne was expecting to get nominated? Like, how late in the game do you think he got word? Because like these guys they all find out beforehand before we know if they're getting nominated.
It kind of felt like, to me, in the last month or two, I thought it was pretty apparent he wasn't good. But he's also like a lunatic. He might thought he was still winning it. He might still think he's winning it. But I don't know. The kind of
it was a hell of a campaign.
The hype behind the whole thing kind of faded pretty quickly. To be honest, it didn't really get any award love. So.
The costumes, bro.
Yeah, but like it didn't get like the Golden Globe. It didn't get anything, right? So like I didn't see that. I think Saudi is probably the show to look at. I think this year he may show up and do a segment because he's fucking nuts, but I think he's still committed to doing real roles, quote unquote, for now.
Jumanji Hunter thinks he'll be in the Rumble this weekend for some reason.
Maybe
that would be
possible.
Winning the Rumble, It's time to come back final, but I hear it, bro. I hear it. But yeah, any other contenders for the Women's Rumble outside of Liv?
I think Bianca.
Who could be interested?
Right, Bianca Belair, if she can come back. If she's back, I think she probably does win it.
Yeah. It's like Charlotte last year or the year before, isn't it?
I think that's the main crew.
Injury.
Yeah, I think Liv, Bianca, Rhea, or Io. I'm pretty happy with that as my slate of
Jacy
favorites.
Jane. How would you actually react to that?
Legitimately,
legitimately, Jacy Jane comes out and they're like, you know what? Priest won the world title at Mania because he was like a good soldier for like the past 2 years.
I'd probably dress it up on the air. My honest, genuine reaction would probably be like, cool. I was on the air when JC won the NXT strap, and people came in the chat and was like, holy shit. And I was like, good for her, man. That's kind of how I react to everything now. I'm kind of fried in that way. Hopefully she gets called up soon. 100%. I don't ride the roller coaster anymore, bro. It's not good for your health. I just watch it go up and down.
I pick certain things. Like I'll pick like one thing a year to like get toxically invested in.
Yeah, no, I get it. Definitely. But yeah, Jacy Jane, hopefully she's in it. She'll be awesome in it. But
Obafemi.
Yeah, I think he'll probably get a spotlight in it. Yeah.
I want him to win, man, but he's obviously not gonna look he's not someone you can do it with, bro. You can actually do it with him, I think. Like I'm not obviously I'm mad biased. He's my favourite wrestler, bro. He has been for a minute now. And it's like I think they could do it, bro. Like he's gone toe to toe with Cody. They've been hyping him up like a fucking horror movie fucking villain in the vignettes and shit. They've kind of done they haven't put a step wrong with him thus far.
Yep.
Granted, it's one live segment, one match, and a few vignettes so far. But it's just, bro, Hulbert could go in there, clean house, eliminate Lesnar, eliminate Cody, eliminate Drew, eliminate them all, bro. Get them all out of there, Have him win.
Yeah. You led this pitch with this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen, but
yeah.
Fair.
You have him, I don't know, kill Punk at Mania, just derail all that shit that they got going on over there with the vision and that, We don't need it. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not against it.
Or obviously you just do the Cody thing, but Cody has to win the belt back.
Yeah, but you got a lot of work to do there, I feel.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I'll just have it. He can just kill the old man at Mania in Phil. Shout out Phil. You know.
So I consider, yeah. It's possible. Anything's possible.
Kathleen said Bianca with the metal finger poke of doom gimmick. Imagine she just come back with the gimmick like glove or some shit.
She'd probably make it look really cool, to be honest.
Yeah, it'd be unironically like, you know, very nice, classy. Yeah, man, Rumble. What's even on the Rumble? Just those three matches. What else is on there?
Sammy and Drew.
Of course.
That's the whole card, I presume.
Yeah, same. Obviously, Sammy won the Fatal 4-Way at the main event, Saturday night's main event in Montreal. Got great reaction, as expected, just like he did on the night before on SmackDown. And, yeah, man, probably the right decision. You could have done Randy as well, but with the number one contenders match being booked in the way where it was in Montreal, then obviously it was clear what the plan was going to be. There was reports going back quite a while about Sammy potentially getting this match at the Rumble. So, but yeah, they could have gone with Randy, I think, as well. That would have worked. Obviously, Randy and Drew, that could have easily worked. Obviously, I don't think Trick would have worked. Trick and Drew just don't make any sort of sense, you know. And
no, Sammy's the right call, I think.
Yeah.
Sammy's the right call. And I think people are going to talk themselves into Sammy winning. I think he needs one promo to convince Billy's going to win. So, yeah, for a 4-match card, that's pretty fucking strong, right? So.
I think he should win, but, you know, that's me getting kind of out there again, like my Obafemi pitches. Sammy winning may be a little bit more realistic. I don't know. What do you think, Joe? Sammy actually winning this match or Obafemi winning the Rumble? Which one? Which one? If you have to pick.
I think Sammy winning is more likely.
Okay.
I don't think either is very likely. But both are more likely than JC Jane winning, if that helps.
Hey, man. Gotta throw it out there. You see the shit they throw out there in these creative
Uso
meetings.
won last year. Right?
You see the Unreal clips last week, you know?
Yeah.
They throw any sort of fucking pitch out there. Logan Paul might fucking win it, bro. You know? Ooh.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
I shouldn't have spoke that into existence.
No, not on a Monday. Come on.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Drew versus Sammy, I think that'll be a very good match. This crowd will be into Sammy, hopefully, just like they were this past weekend. You know, that'd be very great for the match, of course. So yeah. But yeah, man, Sammy winning would be cool. I think I was saying to you before we went live, I think Trick Williams will cost Sammy in some form or fashion. Make of that what you will. And yeah, man, so that's AJ, Rumble. Don't want to get bogged down with other, you know, the evil Jericho news and stuff like that. You know, we got
save that for Friday.
Well, let's talk awards, Joe. So of course, WrestlePurists Awards, we've been doing them for like 4 or 5 years or something like that now, and it's pretty simple. There's a fan vote, which I have put in the description. You may need to refresh the page though, because I did it after we went live, because you know I was just unprofessional, Monday blues and all that, you know. But it should be there now in the link in the description, so you guys can vote. So we've got the fan vote, and we also do media vote as well. And then basically what we do is we combine percentages and we get our awards winners. You know, we have the media rest of the year, we have the fans rest of the year, we have the overall rest of the year, and then we have all the things that you guys can vote on as well. So like I said, 14 awards. Nothing too out there, nothing too crazy. All pretty much like awards you'd expect to be given. You know, like we ain't doing 35 awards and, you know, breaking everything down into 20 different categories. Like, you know, like whatever. But where do you want to start, Joe? Because what we're going to do is we're going to go through it. We're going to look at the nominees. We'll talk a little bit about each one that we can, because obviously we're not worldwide experts about every single corner of wrestling. So some things we may be a little limited on. Although we do have some WrestlePurists posts that can kind of bullet point some achievements of most of the talent. So we can do that. Thanks to Carlos and Jamie. But yeah, we're gonna talk about each one, and then Joe is gonna reveal who he's voting for. We're getting the Hulbert ballot. This is big business, you know.
Big.
This is
Very big.
yeah, very big, you know. So tell your friends, share the video, let them know Joe Hulbert is revealing the secrets, how he breaks down these things, all that, you know. So without further ado, Joe,
Yeah.
what award do you want to start with? I know you're probably not looking right at the list right now, but you can imagine what the awards are. You know,
there's a lot of options here. There's a lot of options. I would like to start with the tag team domain, which is I love tag team wrestling. I have some Hulbert favourites up for this one. Tag team of the year would like to be my starting point.
All right, let me find tag team of the year.
Yep.
Let me share my screen because I think that'll be a bit. Feels this is such a professional occasion that why not? You know.
Let's do it.
Hopefully I'm not sharing my DMs. No, they are not open. All right. The WrestlePurists Awards nominees for the WrestlePurists Tag Team of the Year 2025. We have Bro Dido, of course, makes all the sense in the world. We have the Young Bucks, who had a very, especially kind of like in the middle of the year, they were very strong, I thought. FTR, same again, kind of similar to the Young Bucks, thought very strong in the middle of the year. And of course, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss. And there's one more, and Jet Speed, of course. How could I forget Jet Speed? Jet Speed and Bro Dido, brand new tag team. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, brand new tag team. Young Bucks and FTR, veterans, and it's not the first time they've been nominated for these awards, you know. But 3 new tag teams, Joe.
Yes. Interesting year for tag team wrestling. I saw there was some conversation about international teams that probably suffered in, you know, the fan voting department, right? Because there's less exposure. In WWE, the women dominated the tag team story. It was a big year for the women's tag division, so much so that the actual singles titles kind of suffered as a result. Charlotte and Alexa are kind of representing that whole scene here, to be honest with you, because there's a couple teams that I think, like Liv and Raquel made a great start to the year, and then Liv got hurt, right? And then Roxanne picks up, so they kind of split the ballot almost there in a weird way. Bailey and Lyra may be the best working team, but they didn't get the same push, so they kind of fell to the side. And Rio, in terms of being a tag team, started only really wrestling together often. So, as a result, you have Charlotte and Alexa repping that, which I think is cool. In terms of match for match, Charlotte and Alexa have some strong stuff, but they obviously are a weaker candidate. Mm-hmm. Where they thrive is the narrative is pretty awesome for Charlotte and Alexa, which matters.
Yes.
I like a narrative in my award. It does. You know, they both come back at the Rumble. They both then fall to the side for different reasons. They pitch something themselves with each other. It gets over. Charlotte becomes the most sincerely popular she's been in many, many years. Alexa Bliss gets back in the game after becoming a mother and being away for 2 years. And they did have some really good matches. In AEW, you look at Bro Dido, who I think Bandito is a relevant story throughout these awards, to be honest. He had so many great matches across the board.
Yeah.
And it felt like the most value and mileage Brody King had gone. So they had a great year. Jet Speed were incredible signings, right? I mean, came in, gave so much offense and energy. The Young Bucks were back in a major way and became staples in the party match genre that kind of
that's been really cool to see.
Revived the energy of Dynamite for the summer, I thought.
Yeah, for real, bro. And they got in great shape again as well.
Yep.
Not that they got fat or anything, you know, but they got the abs back.
And then you have my vote, which is going to be the FTR. Hulbert ballot, FTR. I am biased, but I actually think it's a fair case. FTR, with their heel turn, I thought did some fabulous work. The Paragon series is somewhat polarizing. I was very fond of it. The Outrunners match is one of their most triumphant outings probably ever.
I
like the Outrunners. That was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. They're going with the Bro Dido match. I think the TV stuff that was really underrated was the stuff with Priest and Billington at 2300 Arena, which I was very fond of.
As well.
You sprinkle in some of the earlier stuff in the year that when they were still baby faces. I just felt, to me, the Bucks and FTR both had great cases in terms of work. FTR had more of it in 2 versus 2 tags, which is my personal preference, priority. I like party matches. They don't resonate with me the same way 6 minutes of heat on Tom Billington does. So for me, it's FTR. Yes, I am biased, but I believe it's a fair vote. But these are all strong candidates. They are all strong
They
candidates.
are.
But
It's a very, very strong field.
Yes.
For this one, because it's like there's Brodido and Jet Speed may split voters.
Yeah.
I think because of and like Young Bucks have their faithful every year annual voters, you know.
Yeah.
The FDR almost the same like yourself, but they've
Right.
of course they're here, they're nominated, and there's been many tag teams that missed out but have had great years this year, so they obviously deserve to be here. These nominees were chosen by you. This isn't just me randomly picking my faves or anything. And yeah, of course, you've got Charlotte Flair and Alexa, kind of the only WWE tag team as well. So, of course, you know, they've got like kind of the big platform of voters potentially. And the only female tag team as well. And like you said, there's kind of been like an emergence in the women's tag team division this year. So, yeah, that's kind of hard to ignore. They've all got pretty strong cases, I think, honestly.
Yeah.
So, I think Brodido is one that I think may come out, and I don't know. It's tough because, like I said, the Brodido Jet Speed vote split, and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss will have a strong following.
They may win it, honestly.
Yeah, I think they might. You know, I won't reveal my votes because that's not who we're here for. We're here for the Hulbert ballot.
But it's good we're doing this because I don't want any heat if Charlotte and Alexa win. I'm innocent.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
so far, you know.
Yeah.
So chat, what are you saying? Who have you just voted for? Link is in the description. Don't forget to get your votes in. In fact, I may even put a little banner whilst you guys let us know in the chat.
But legitimately, Monty, there's actually a good point to always.
Go
When we
for
do
it.
these awards, everyone's going to vote this with a different priority in mind, right? In the sense that, like, some people are going to look at this and go, okay, how many great matches did they have? Not everyone is going to approach it that way, right? And, like, that's where it gets interesting, you know? Do Charlotte and Alexa have as many 4-star matches as the other teams here? No. But
Everyone's
they
priority is
absolutely...
different.
Right, exactly. They absolutely have other strengths in the argument, so it's an interesting one. I liked all of their years. Jet Speed probably are going to really suffer in the vote, but actually were, like, terrific on AEW TV. So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, that's the thing with these awards. Like I said, when I was messaging some of the media guys, like about like to vote for their wrestler of the year, and they were like, "What's the criteria? Is it like all round, or is it in ring?"
Right.
And it was like, it is an all round award, but it's like with that comes everyone's own personal criteria. Some people may value drawing power. Some people may value, well, all of it should be valued, but some people may value it more than others. Drawing power, in ring, presentation, even down to things like booking. You know, some people may even consider like how well this person's booked may dictate where they fall on their wrestler of the year rankings, or it could be anything, how much they've uplifted others. It could be anything, you know, out of the people that we've got. But yeah, it's a good point to bring up because everyone's criteria is different, and you know, I think we just kind of let people
Figure it out for themselves.
Yeah, do it for themselves, sort of thing, instead of being like, you must vote within these parameters, like, because that kind of, I don't know, I guess it can kind of make it a bit more not boring, but like,
I don't like it when it feels like maths, you know.
You have to, you have to think too much. Like, who's your tag team of the year? That first tag team that just popped in all your minds, and that's who you should be voting for. And
I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I think when I get forced to do business assessment, it's when it becomes less fun to me. You know, it's like I don't want to have to go for FTR's quarter hours. I don't know, but they will have good arguments. I'm intrigued to see who wins that one. Very intrigued.
All right, so that's tag team of the year, people. Very strong, very, very strong field, as I've already said repeatedly. Where do you want to go to next, Joe?
Surprise me, Montel. Surprise
you. All right, I'll surprise you.
Surprise me. I can't have it all my own way.
Change this tab. Has my tab changed over? Yes, it has. We are looking at nominees for the WrestlePurists Most Underrated Wrestler of the Year from 2025. We have Fallon Henley of Toxic Attraction fame. Fatal Influence. Toxic. Which one is it? Fatal Influence? It's Fatal Influence, isn't it now?
Fatal Influence, yeah.
It's Fatal Influence. Fallon Henley of NXT. We have Oscar of New Japan, tag teaming with Yuta Ice, Raquel Rodriguez of WWE, Queen Aminata of AEW, and Montez Ford of WWE. All very different kind of cases, I guess. Underrated is always kind of like an awkward one because it's like, again, talking about criteria, some people will be like, well, this person's underbooked. Do you know what I mean? This person isn't booked properly, so that's what I base it on. Some other people base it on just how the perception around them in the, amongst fans. So there's all different things that you can kind of base it around, I guess. But yeah, all interesting. Like Fallon Henley, of course, she's kind of like, I don't know, man. Like she should be on main roster. She's been so good in all the roles that she's been put into. Now in Fatal Influence, it's kind of JC James collecting all the titles and stuff like that. Even Lainey Reed was getting a lot of hype last week, and Fallon Henley sometimes, in my opinion at least, kind of falls through the cracks in terms of perception, and she is very, very good. So that's Fallon Henley. Oscar. Everyone talks about Yuta Ice in New Japan and his tag team with him, and it's kind of, again, he's like Yuta Ice's partner, in terms of perception anyway. Raquel Rodriguez, of course, she's spoiler, she's up for Most Improved as well. So I think that's probably kind of where those two things have kind of like blended together, and she's ended up on this as well, underrated. So not too surprised. Queen Aminata, I think there is so many AEW fans that think she should be given more and given like a real chance and opportunity of a push, because I think every time she's gone out there, she's proven she can do it in the ring, especially in a company like AEW. It's like normally those sort of performances get rewarded a bit quicker. I think we're still kind of waiting for that with Queen Aminata. And then Montez Ford, he's very pretty self-explanatory, I think. So where is he? It's like how it wasn't that long ago. People would talk at why isn't he getting a singles push and all this and that, and it's like he isn't even getting a tag push these days. Apparently the reported word is that the profits are off TV to be refreshed, so they don't get stale. And it's like, oh, thanks, So yeah, it's an interesting and kind of an awkward one to navigate, Joe. But what are your thoughts on the talent we're looking at here?
Well, I like all the talent. I'm not as familiar with the Oscar Yuta Ice team as of yet, but like the idea and what I have seen, I like. I'm going to take a very literal approach to this award, Montel WP, because I think there's actually one truly underrated wrestler here, which I think is Fallon Henley. Raquel Rodriguez, I think most have probably...
People are seeing it now.
They've probably corrected enough that she may now go the other way. I think everyone agrees Queen Aminata is awesome. So again, this is what you just said, right? You can rate everyone. Like, in terms of booking, I get it. But if I'm just going on, like... To me, I'm just going to approach it literally. As for Tez, I love Tez, but I think he's like... There's a more underrated member of his own team. So, I find it hard to... So to me, I'm just going to go with Fallon because no one actually talks about Fallon being good, and she most certainly is good. JC Jane has a really cool knee, and so no one realizes Fallon Henley has that really cool thing where she swings her whole body around the ring post in a kick. I like Fallon Henley. Excellent cowboy hat, good worker.
Yeah.
She is my vote for most underrated because I think she is the one wrestler on the list that is actually underrated.
Fairs. And now... Can I escape? Yes, I can escape. Yeah, man. Okay, so most underrated, yeah. Like I said, they've all got kind of interesting cases. They're all very different cases as well.
Yeah.
Queen Aminata, man, it's I hope she has a very big 2026. She deserves one. I don't know what anybody would be waiting for. She's got a lot of pieces of the puzzle sorted out already, I think. Aminata has. Obviously Montez Ford goes without saying. So many people want to see him like right up there, in the main event scene and stuff like that. You've got to push to get him up there, You've got to start somewhere, and I think they should be starting somewhere with him yesteryear, So
yes, there's a few different ways to approach it for sure. I went more on the perception front to show some love to someone who doesn't get a lot of love, but if you go booking. Tez is obviously a good one, for sure. They're all really good talents. I like all of those people.
Yeah, they're all great talents. All right, Joe. I
Yep.
surprised you with that one. You're gonna have to do some work this time. What
Let's
award
do.
do you want to talk
Let's
about next?
let's jump to rather than individuals. Let's talk big picture. Let's do like a promotion.
Okay, we
Maybe
can
should we do
promotion.
promotion?
Yes,
next?
do promotion of the year.
Yeah. Get a little big picture here, on this beautiful Monday afternoon.
Uh, duh, 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 duh. Why can I not find? No, I've got it. Technical difficulties are over.
Oh, good.
Share this tab instead. All right, WrestlePurists Awards nominees for the WrestlePurists Promotion of the Year 2025. We have CMLL, AEW, WWE, TNA, and Stardom.
Wow. This is one you and I have discussed before. I think there are very few people that are educated enough to truly vote on this with full confidence. You have to do a little bit of guesswork, I think, because even if you cherry pick stuff from promotions, you're not getting a full experience of what it looks like day in, day out, right? And you can only do that for so many promotions.
Dave tries his best.
Well, Dave's built different. He's produced a fucking Weekly Observer for the last 40 years. He's a far greater man than I am. But I'm going to just, to my eye, and I'm not a big box office guy, but I think what CMLL did in 2025, I think is so impressive. It's powerful enough to actually overcome the fact that I very much cherry pick what I actually watch.
Yeah.
There are certain times with box office stuff where I think it's marginal enough you can kind of roll your eyes. What they did in terms of Arena Mexico sellouts was like extraordinary. Yeah. When you compile that with what they kind of their increased relevance on a global stage, it feels to me like CMLL were the answer here. I think AEW had a strong year in terms of like results. What they produced for the summer was really strong. The start of the year was wacky. Then they settled down in February, and then the last few months of the year were not bad by any means, but they were just it just was kind of there.
And it's not like they were peaking or anything, was it?
No, and so I just, TNA, God bless, but no. I would struggle to see where Stardom's argument would be stronger than CMLL's as someone that just cherry picks, personally. And this is again a case where, like, as good as WWE did at the box office, there was so much to me on the shows that I struggled with. Yeah. So to me, this is one where I kind of...
it's got people even putting them forwards, to be honest,
Right, but I think just, on numbers, I guess it kind of has to. But I think CMLL was the right vote here, Monty. And again, that's one with a little bit of guesswork, no question. But just looking at the candidates, I see the argument for AEW. But there was a lot of the year where I thought AEW was kind of just strolling along. It wasn't surging, whereas
sleepwalking.
It felt like in 2025, the amount of people I know that watch and were tapped into CMLL, like, legitimately, like, doubled, 4 times over. Like, it was notable. Even the Confirmed Shoot had the subscription. So for that alone, CMLL win my promotion of the year.
Yeah, like you said, it's all been noticeable, kind of the huge 2026 that CMLL have had, and so what more would them as a promotion, like, what more can they do to win an award like this? You know, it's like they've sold out countless times. I think it's like 60-something sellouts in Arena Mexico this year. Like, absolutely insane. What more can they do? So that's, of course, CMLL's case. And, of course, the wrestling has been great. Mystico, top of the cards and stuff. Like, they do they do what they do very well, the Arena Mexico shows. And everything else, to be honest. But and, of course, gaining even more notoriety with, the US fan base as well. And, the AEW stuff as well. That I would say that definitely is part of their case. So yeah, then AEW, as Joe's already kind of pointed out, I'd say they've had a pretty decent year. I wouldn't say it's their best year ever by a long. I definitely wouldn't go that far. As Joe said, they had a kind of dicey start of the year, first quarter. Then, of course, Hangman's like arc and winning the belt was very good, and then it kind of like politely just strolled along for the rest of the year, in my opinion. So they had a strong year, definitely, and they didn't. It never deviated too poorly. Even though some people may have argued that, especially with like the peak of the fan disenchantment with the Death Rider stuff, But But yeah, man. Overall, though, they did still have a strong year. WWE, as you know, Joe. It's all business related, isn't it? That John Cena's final year, still a crazy amount of sellouts and a crazy amount of tickets and movement and stuff like that. But in terms of fan satisfaction and critical acclaim of the actual product and the product they're putting out, they just it just hasn't been good. Fan satisfaction has been very down. Triple H has been slandered more than ever, and that's kind of where WWE's kind of at the moment. And Dave has pointed this out, and I'm sure many other fans and people have pointed this out, but it almost feels like John Cena's retirement tour has covered up kind of what may not have been as hot of a business year in 2025, So I guess we'll find out throughout 2026 and how this year goes, if that was actually the case. But nonetheless, they still did that business, so here they are, nominated. TNA, I think, is just kind of based on the kind of getting the TV deal finally.
Yeah, and some good houses, right?
And
for them,
I'm not mad at them being here, to be honest, for that, because getting a TV deal is, it's the ultimate goal, isn't it? If you're a promotion, it's you get into the dance, and TNA, of course, have made a lot of noise over the past year in the WWE relationship, and people trying to convince themselves it's the real number two, and they've kind of got themselves into conversations this year, and of course that was topped off by getting the TV deal. Now obviously they have not started 2026 very well whatsoever, but we're talking about 2025, people, and although they probably wouldn't be my vote, don't want to show any biases, but they're here, and that's why. Stardom, Saya Kamatani's world title reign and kind of the business that she was able to attract over the past 12 months, I think, was very impressive. And Stardom, of course, although I don't think the booking has quite a 100% satisfaction rate, Stardom do put out a very good product, for the most part. So Stardom are here. So we have no. Who else would even be here? DPW. NXT was NXT. I don't. Would we? Well, if NXT was called for, then of course we would include them, but we didn't get much nominees or whatever for NXT. Same with AAA and all the other promotions, obviously, that I've missed out. So, yeah, man, that's the promotion of the year. Hulbert has locked in his vote for CMLL, and again, this isn't my time to vote either, but I don't blame him. I think it was very well explained, and as I said when I was talking about CMLL 2025, genuinely, what more could they do,
Right.
Like that when you do business like that, and new fans are finding the product, new fans are enjoying the product, your old fans are enjoying the product, Mystico's like a fucking god in your home arena, like it's...
Yes. Now the issue is, Montel,
go for it.
As we go to Booker of the Year. Now, this is where things get very dicey, okay? Because we can talk in broad terms, in vague terms, and do some guesstimating when it comes to promotion of the year because we're including different factors there, right? I always feel a lot less comfortable doing that for Booker of the Year without having a real understanding of a book's strengths and weaknesses. Like...
Yeah, and they are different things as well, aren't they?
Because if I cherry-picked WWE in 2025 to the level I did with some of the surrounding promotions, which at times I did, but not for the whole year, I probably would have a much more favourable take on it, right? Like if I just watched, the best stuff. So this is always really tough. I don't feel comfortable voting for bookers that are not like, I've not got a real familiarity with their playbook. That's the challenge. I was going to say there's a lot of Booker T here. Look at Booker.
Here we go. There's always a lot of bookers here. Yeah. Alright, we got them up now.
Yeah, but you get my point on this, right? So this is one where I kind of have to. I find the
go
DBW,
with what you know.
DBW intrigues me here purely because when I think of the skill of booking, they were able to actually genuinely inject some like excitement and energy around guys' careers that have benefited from that.
Yeah, look at Javon Evans right now.
Well, you look like Jake.
That wasn't quite 2025, like, obviously, but...
Jake something's been the wrestler he is now for quite some time, and it feels like DPW was the place that allowed him to actually get like genuine juice and buzz beyond, just his prior reputation. I look at how much mileage they got out of like the idea of Adam Priest being locked in a cage. Like, in some ways, from a booking point of view, that's more impressive to me than just like having, world-class talent. Adam Priest is a great talent, but you get what I mean, right? It's like a lesser scale. But I just didn't watch the shows close enough, so for this particular award, I'm going to kind of cower, and I'm going to pick Tony Khan. Tony Khan...
Getting back in the weeds.
Tony Khan has his approach to booking. It is flawed in some ways, but it also produces probably the most prolific wrestling pay-per-views we've ever seen. The amount of great shows that have taken place, on his watch, I don't think you can ignore. Is it always via the method of like nuanced, slick booking? Maybe not necessarily. But he is someone who has an eye for matchmaking. He is someone who prioritizes the fan experience in the sense that you get your money's worth and then some. Right? If you go to an AEW pay-per-view, you're certainly going to leave the building going, man, they kind of left me wanting more. And people
That's also a flaw at the same time.
It is, but honestly, dude, like, we have a lot of, we push back a lot on show length. Honestly, in the current landscape with who his compare is, I actually think it's like a genuine positive. That's Tony's approach. That he gives you more bang for your buck than you could ever imagine. He produced a lot of great shows. He produced the shows that I'll probably get to for Show of the Year later. As a result, I'm going to go with Tony Khan for my Booker of the Year. That's the one I feel comfortable with in this particular ballot.
Yeah, as far as Booker of the Year and talking about the nominees for those, of course you can kind of copy and paste what I said about the promotion of the year. Yeah. With some of this, obviously you've got Stardom, you've got AEW there, Triple H not nominated for, I think, obvious reasons. Like Triple H nominated. I think he. Did he win last year and the year before? I don't know. I should have had the past winners up, but obviously he has won this award. So not even nominated when you're the booker of the biggest promotion of the year is quite damning. And that's just a reflection of how people feel about his year, So no Triple H, but we do have Tony Khan, as Joe has just eloquently explained. Shawn Michaels, I think, is a very fair nominee as well, because the thing is with NXT, like, he does what he does with the talent, and like, especially in 2025, like, he had a lot of his guys and girls just kind of like plucked off him, and he just kind of like gets on with it, and he's always giving talent chances to kind of do whatever they can showcase, really, and I've always appreciated that approach, because I think it is the approach to take with NXT. And I don't think he has these big thought-out creative masterclasses or anything, but I think the core of his booking is more just give the talent chances to develop, really. And I think he does that pretty well, And I think that's why he's developed kind of this. There's almost like a loyal NXT fan base, of like this new era NXT, and I think if one thing. TNA's debut on national television and the numbers that drew, I think what Shawn has been able to pull off with NXT starts to look even more impressive.
Right.
And on top of that, they've actually been drawing very well on TV over the past 12 months. So, yeah, man, Shawn's there. Like I said, Taro Okada, of course, he's pretty much copy-paste the same stuff what I said about Stardom as a promotion. Then same with CMLL, really. It's kind of like almost undeniable, although, like Joe, myself, I cannot talk too much and get into the weeds about their booking styles and all these things,
Right.
Then, of course, there's the DPW guys, Anthony Douglas, John Blood, and James Darnell. And as Joe kind of explained, they've been doing their thing, man. They've been doing it for years, and obviously, unfortunately, they've announced at the end of last year that they're gonna take an extended hiatus. And this was kind of, they did their last show not that long ago. That's what this picture is from, and they've got all the crew and all the wrestlers and some of the fans, which I thought was like a nice touch to get that in. And yeah, man, they really kind of definitely left their impression on the wrestling scene.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's kind of cool to see them get the flowers. People that fuck with DPW really fuck with DPW, and I think that's always cool to see around a promotion. So shout out those guys, man. Shout out those guys doing what they do. Hopefully, it's not too long of a hiatus, even if they do one-offs or something, you know. But yeah, they've been. It's not their first nomination either, so
yeah,
they know what they're doing.
I don't know how you feel about this, Montel, but I think, considering the award we just did, let's stay in the non-wrestler category, I think, Montel. Let's go in front of the camera. Let's talk some more non-wrestlers. How does that sound to you?
If I can find nominees. Found them. Okay, let's do it. WrestlePurists Awards. Nominees for the WrestlePurists Best Non-Wrestler of the Year. This can include literally anybody who's not a wrestler, so managers, commentators, Joe Hulbert.
Yep.
Literally, if Joe got enough votes, you know, we'd throw him in there. If you want to vote for Chris Van Vliet, you know, fuck it. But yeah, WrestlePurists Awards nominees for the best non-wrestler of the year 2025. We have Don Callis, we have Nick Aldis, Bryan Danielson, Adam Pearce, and Paul Heyman. I'll be honest, I was surprised to see Paul Heyman get as much love as he did, but then at the same time, it's like it's Paul Heyman. It's almost kind of like a legacy thing. He just gets thrown in there by default, you know, which I'm not overly mad at. But I didn't think Paul had the greatest year this year. But again, I'm trying not to be biased with his stuff or influence people's voting. But
Renee Paquette feels like a snub to me. I'll be honest, feels like a snub. Renee,
I'd pass. This is what I mean. I listen to the people, Joe.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
I personally would agree with you, and I would have had Renee on this list above Paul. But Paul is here. Paul is here.
There are two candidates here I'm tempted by. I'm not voting for Don Callis. Nick Aldis is good, but I think his peer is better, who I'll get to in a minute. And I didn't think Heyman had a particularly good year. I'm looking at Dragon and Pierce. Dragon's commentary run is actually very short. I think he comes in like September.
That late?
It was pretty late, dude. Yeah, I mean, maybe I made that up. I could have, but it was pretty late.
Fair.
But he was transformative, I thought, for the booth. Like, he added so much energy and excitement, and actually was wanting to watch the wrestling matches and engage with them and talk about the wrestling matches with color and analysis. And that means something. But I'm gonna show some love to someone who has been very underrated in his role, I should say, but has recently got the attention of our beloved Dave Meltzer, who has began to talk about him, and I think at one point almost did a Terry Funk comparison before backing off. And let's just show some love to the giant barber of 205 Live, Adam Pearce, who is
Scrap Daddy.
Maybe the most believable person on the entire Monday Night Raw presentation. I'm going to just say Adam Pearce. Honestly, Dragon's very tempting, but he was such a short run. And I don't really want to vote for anyone else here. So Adam Pearce is tremendous on TV. His gimmick is like manager who is just entirely unable to just contain everything that's going on around him. Yeah, every week he seems stunned by the things that happen on a wrestling show. But he's got his own
catchphrases, you know.
His delivery's
Someone
great.
Get me a drink. It's official.
His
catchphrases, Joe. You know?
He did a video where he's like walking in the snow yesterday, so we can announce the Raw lineup, and there was like 3 things from an announcer. Well, man, you could just start from a hotel room, but no, he didn't because he's Adam Pearce, and he's the man, dude. I like Adam Pearce a lot, and he deserves an award after his contributions to 205 Live, let alone as Raw General Manager. So he gets a lifetime achievement vote from me. He is my best non-wrestler.
Oh, there you go, Adam Pearce, and obviously Paul Heyman. You know, started the vision with Seth Rollins, and of course all the things that led on from there. Bryan Danielson, you know, as Joe already very well explained, he's doing such a great job, but kind of later in the year. Nick Aldis, I think, has been great, very similar to Pearce, but I can see why you'd have Pearce above Aldis, but I think Aldis is also a great part of the SmackDown TV. And Don Callis, you know, put together the Callis family, which is literally all over AEW's TV every single week on every single show. And I think obviously now people are starting to get a lot more tired of it. Who could have predicted that? But he's all over the TV at the end of the day, and he's not all. Even if you are tired of him as a performer, I think he does do certain things very well. There is certain things that I would nitpick and stuff with him, of course, but he is here, and I'm not surprised to see him here nominated because he's a very significant part of AEW television over the past year. So there you go. Now let's surprise Joe.
Oh,
Let's go
I love
with.
surprises.
No, you don't. Alright, what have we done so far? We've done quite a few so far.
We have.
I should probably keep track, you know.
Promotion booker, tag team, most underrated, best non-wrestler. I think we've done 5. I think.
Close enough. Let's do. Let's do this one. WrestlePurists Awards nominees for the WrestlePurists Most Improved Wrestler of the Year. So we're back on the professionals, the wrestlers in the ring now. Obviously not based just off in ring, but improved in all areas. Could be in ring, could be promos, could be presentation, could be look, could be anything. So yeah, we've got Harley Cameron of AEW, the current AEW Tag Team Champion. Also, I believe the Mercedes match was this year as well. Well, last year.
Yeah.
So of course that was huge for her, and she's kind of developed into a fan favorite, you know. So then JC Jane, of course, even though she was on most underrated last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's not like she's gone from bad to good. Like, she's been very decent for a very long time, but I think she makes it here because of the way that she's kind of leveled up. Not even leveled up, just like unfazed with leveling up to becoming the NXT Women's Champion, and then the TNA Knockouts Champion at the same time. She was double champ, and she carried that shit like she was always meant to. You know, so she really stepped up, and she's very much proving with every week that why wasn't she called up a year ago, you know? Yeah, so JC Jane, Raquel Rodriguez, of course, it's hard to find WWE fans that won't tell you how much better she's got, you know? What's the nickname? Big Mommy, or whatever she calls herself. And yeah, man, took some advice off Big Kevin Nash. And here we are, you know, so... We've got Callum Newman as well from New Japan. Some people have been very hot or cold on him. He's a bit like a Marmite selection here.
Yeah.
For our US friends, I don't know if they have that saying, but they either love him or hate him. I see some people be like, "Oh, he's been so great this year," and I've seen some people just sick of him. You know, but, you know, United Empire, all that sort of stuff. And we've got Mai Sakurai that I can't really talk too much on, but Jamie seemed to be very... you know what I'll actually do? Because Jamie must have done a my tweet about her 25. Mai Sakurai is 2025. So she reigned for 296 days as United National Champion. She secured the most successful defences in Marigold's history with 6. She was Super Rookie Shino's debut opponent and announced her Marigold World Title Challenge. So, yeah, man, she's obviously came along quite a lot this year, making a lot of strides. There's obviously a lot of confidence in her from Rossi in Marigold. So, yeah, man, we've got most improved. Joe, what are you thinking?
I have a strong take on this one. Holly Cameron has got better. I don't know if it's as sizable as some will suggest, quite frankly.
I think people just like her.
I
don't think she's...
I think JC Jane is awesome, but I actually think she's pretty much where she was just for push, which she kind of spoke to. Raquel Rodriguez has got a lot better. I'm not as familiar, unfortunately, with Sakurai. I am going to keep my vote here at home in Romford. Because I saw Callum Newman in person in October, maybe? No. Yeah, October. And I thought it was a different bloke, to be honest with you. He feels like he's actually, like, genuinely kind of, to me...
Leveled up.
like physically and the way he was carrying himself, I just sensed there was so much more maturity. Going into the year, it kind of felt a little ridiculous at times, if I'm being completely frank. This year, he announces he's signed, and it's like, he feels like a major piece for them to me, and what he can do physically, I think people are so overexposed to athleticism, they just kind of take for granted the way that fucking guy moves. So I sat up close and watched that dude run the ropes, bro. He is different, so I'm going to go with Callum Newman. I think he's actually someone who has like left the year different to he entered. JC has done that from a booking point of view. I think her work was really good at the end of 2024, Yeah, I think Callum Newman here. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. I think genuinely, like when you look at the Goto title match where he has to take Cobb's place, right? Was that when Cobb left? I think it might have been.
I think that sounds... Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and like the way he's evolved, and like he kind of has this character now where he's a real prick, and he's like a big lad kind of, like he's got a bit of size. Yeah, I'll give me Callum Newman.
Big lads a bit. Yeah,
he's got a pretty big frame. Like he's not like a short guy.
I hear you. Let's go for next up. We'll go for best non-wrestler tag team. Done. Rookie of the year. Let's do rookie of the year because I'm going to need help from Jamie and Carlos on this one.
I know this is
a lot from Japan here, but we have WrestlePurists Awards nominees for the WrestlePurists Rookie of the Year, and this just kind of highlights the lack of rookies in the US and especially in AEW, which obviously they don't really have like the system built out to like have rookies,
No rookies in the system, brother. Only vets.
Yeah, man. So like, of course you have to be in the weeds. You gotta be hardcore to know and be familiar with all these to put together this sort of list. But we have a few people working on this with WrestlePurists. So we have Kelly Armstrong of WWE Evolve. Of course, she was the Evolve Women's Champion. Obviously all these people have made the debuts recently. She carries herself very well. She's a very confident speaker as well. And very promising. The WWE people seem to be very high on her. And she's got off to a very good start in her WWE career, it seems. Right now, as we dive into the world of Japan and pure pro wrestling, I am going to make sure that I have some information pulled up on these people. So
it's a good idea.
We'll start with Shino. And Shino, of course, had a very good debut year. So if we share this tab instead, she debuted at just 16 years old against Mai Sakurai, as previously mentioned, and Marigold Shine Forever. She won the Twin Star Cup, which is a tag tournament, with Sari Yamaoka, who is also nominated for this award. She made her Ryogoku debut against childhood best friend Kazuna Tanaka. So she's been active. Second generation rookie. So shout out to her being nominated for this award. Who else have we got? We've got Daiki Nagai. And if I type it up here, see, we don't know everything, people, but we still try to get the information to you.
Legitimately very little, so this is important. Yes.
Yeah, and it's hard with rookies these days unless you're super tapped in to Puro, especially like the Joshi scene. You have people debuting at 16 years old, and people have already got like these profiles about them and who they are, where they came from, But Daiki Nagai, 2025, he joined the unaffiliated / Unbound Co. Became the first of the new crop of young lions to join a faction, which is quite significant, and made waves, calling all kinds of people out on the roster. And he also competed in the Super Junior Tag League, so he's been given some opportunities. They're clearly quite high on him. The Unbound Young Lion, Rookie of the Year nominee. Who else have we? So we've done Kelly Armstrong, we've done Shino, and we've done Daiki Nakai. So if we do Sari Yamaoka next up.
We have to do a really heinous thing for my votes here, Monty. Very, very heinous, sadly.
No, wrong.
More on that coming up, yeah.
Seri Yamaoka 2025 had one of wrestling's greatest rookie campaigns. Pay-per-view singles matches with Mirai, Takumi Iroha, and Hash. I'll just call her Hash. Chihiro Hashimoto. First Marigold wrestler to pin Mayu Iwatani 1-on-1. Won Twin Star belts, Twin Star Cup, and Marigold Rookie of the Year. Nominated for our Rookie of the Year, the Super Rookie. And from just that alone, you can tell that this is this ain't just any rookie, Joe.
Yeah.
Mayu Iwatani is a huge scalp to claim in your rookie campaign, you know. So yeah, clearly somebody that Rossi is extremely high on. So yeah, I wouldn't surprise to see her get a lot of the votes on this. And then there's Senka,
Yes, both
who
Siri and
I
Senka
hear
got
a
love
lot.
in the
Yeah,
LNG 50.
all year.
Yeah.
Jamie's been talking to me about Senka all year. So Senka Akatsuki, forgive me if I've botched any of these names, by the way. So she broke through with the exciting matches in Marvelous and Marigold. Twin promotion, brother, already doing it. Stole WrestleMania week with her bout against Aja Kong. Developed a generational rivalry with Marigold Seri Yamaoka, who's obviously another nominee for this. She challenged for both the AAW singles and tag team titles, and of course, nominated for Rookie of the Year. So, if you know your stuff, people, probably an interesting field to vote from, you know.
Yes.
So, just from stats alone, you're looking at Seri, Senka, then of course, on the other side of the pond, you've got Callie Armstrong as well. Then of course the other guys, Daiki and Shino. So. Joe Hulbert, not your most informed vote, but a vote nonetheless. Talk to me.
Well, I really have to just I'm not going to vote based on the summaries of others because that just feels deeply unholy. There are a couple of wrestlers here that I have watched in the name of programming. I watched Mayu Iwatani versus Seri Yamaoka for a LNG project, which was like SummerSlam weekend, I think we covered that stuff. And I saw a Callie Armstrong match. I've seen the guy in multi-mans, nothing sticks. So for that reason, almost by default, I have to go with Seri Yamaoka, who that match was awesome. But this is not an award. This is not a category I'm very familiar with. I must concede. But I will take Yamaoka because I can't vote based. As much as Jamie's his summaries were magnificent, I have not seen two of these people wrestle, so
Yeah,
it would feel a little bit disingenuous to vote elsewhere, honestly.
If I type in rookie, was it 2023 or 2022?
Oh, we're looking at Action Andretti in there. Look at that! What a moment!
That was last year. 2024 for 20. Well, no, that was for 2023.
Yeah,
when we announced in 2024. So Yuma Anz, I remember him, All Japan guy. Action Andretti, Megan Bain, Oleg Bolton,
Action
Kalani
Andretti.
A lot more from US there. Only two from Japan there.
Yeah.
And then if we Load of Voice was the winner.
Maybe this is actually a stronger category than usual.
No, there was it must have been 22 then. It must have been. There was a year. The year with this one. Boom. Braun Breaker, Hook, Logan Paul, Takuma Iroha, and Solo Sikoa.
There's 3 good wrestlers there.
You know?
Fuck.
No, that was Observer as Logan Paul, Hook,
Jesus.
which is nasty, but this is what you get with fucking fan voted awards. And also, to be fair, bro, the perception around Logan Paul after that first year was very different to now.
I'm not doing this.
So Hook. But this is like a more familiar field compared to what we've got now. Do you know what I mean? It's like you've got Logan Paul, Hook, Braun Breaker, Takuma, Fujiwara. I remember the hype around it. Then even Tiffany Stratton.
Ignorance, though, just our ignorance.
But the thing I'll bring it up though is kind of like you don't, and it's all what I was saying about AEW. It's like you don't get as many. Like even like 22, 23, it's like it's very different to 24 and 25. You know.
Yeah.
It's like AEW. You don't see any like brand new fresh faces on AEW anymore. You know, like literally none. And obviously in WWE, everyone's kind of sectioned off, aren't they now? Because they have a developmental for the developmental. So it's like, it's
It's not necessarily a bad thing, though, dude. It's starting from scratch on TV is.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just interesting to point out
Yeah.
how it's kind of shifted slightly over the past couple of years, especially, like I said again, especially with AEW.
To my distant knowledge,
Tony's kind of like been like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not doing this.
To my distant knowledge, there were some strong rookies in there. I'm just not educated enough.
Yeah, as talents, all of them are probably. I'm just talking about the US scene and the approach to rookies. I'm not saying that those guys from 22 are better than ours. I was talking about familiarity, and obviously that being like with the top two, you know. And yeah, they only had one in this year, and yeah, man, it's just there's always going to be great rookies in Japan. Like always, because that's just how they do things, and I do think maybe the US and other places could maybe take a little bit of leaf from that book, you know. So we just read like series like Year, even though we weren't super tapped into it. It's like fuck, do you know what I mean? Like someone got that kind of run in the first year as a wrestler.
Yeah.
So Jesus, you know. So yeah. That is the Rookie of the Year. And I think we're getting to very big ones now, Joe.
Big ones.
Let me just double check. We've done Rookie, we've done Most Underrated, we've done Most Improved, we've done Booker, we've done Non-Wrestler, we've done Promotion. Okay, we've got one that isn't a super heavyweight one, which you'll see me type in. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Works for me, folks. Promos up next. It's going to be an interesting one.
Boom, here we go. No, it's not. Why is it showing me completely the wrong thing? what is happening?
I don't know, but once help figures this out, we're looking at the best.
In front of your eyes.
Promos, men and women in pro wrestling. Those that have cut explosive promos, week in, week out. Talk to us into the building. We're about to find out here.
Boom, there we go. All right. WrestlePurists Awards nominees for the WrestlePurists Best on Promos 2025. We have Jon Moxley, John Cena, Hangman Adam Page, Tony Storm, and Hulbert Femi. Now, let's have a quick look at these 5 cases. Quick glance at them. Jon Moxley, I think, always has a chance of being on this, especially ever since signing for AEW. I think his promos in the Death Riders, even though they did get a little bit off track for a little bit, I think overall he's still comfortably one of the best promo guys. He can talk you into the business. He can cut promos that stick with you. His promos just feel different to everybody else's as well on the show, which I think is important. And just a great promo guy, man. And then John Cena. Some people, you know what it is, at the end of the day, bro, like, a lot of us hated the heel run. Some people thought he was doing some fucking art out there, evidently, because he's got nominated for this. Do you know what I mean? But I will say, although that was very divisive, I won't ignore that some people thought he was doing, very good work and he was getting lots of heat and stuff like that. His promo before the SummerSlam match with Cody Rhodes is phenomenal. It's like a classic Cena fucking promo, bro. And off the top of my head, that's definitely the best promo work he did this year. He did some pretty decent stuff as well before turning heel as well, if I remember correctly. But yeah, John Cena's here. Hangman Adam Page. A lot of the AEW faithfuls really fuck with his promo style. Yeah, man, he's kind of like the voice of the promotion to some people, and that's obviously very important. And yeah, man, he can get very fired up and passionate, get people on board and that, You know, he's had a couple misses, if I have to be brutally honest, this year. Well, past 12 months. And yeah, man, Hangman Adam Page, the voice of the soul of AEW, or whatever you want, you know, the voice of the feeling. Obafemi, the way the NXT audience just reacts to his promos and goes along with them is it's always quite something to behold, you know. It almost feels like an occasion when he cuts promos down there. Then also he's also had like pretty big highlights in some of his promo segments with Ricky Saints, and of course how he held his own with Cody Rhodes, and I think people just kind of pop for it a lot, and as you can imagine, Joe, it popped me quite a lot to see him get some love here, and I was very happy to get him on this list, you know. So Obafemi, I think more of a people popping themselves putting him on this, you know, for being like completely truthful. But then there's Tony Storm, obviously timeless Tony. I think as long as she remains timeless, will always remain kind of like in the conversation for these awards. She can even when she even gets serious on a fired up promo, she does it in the timeless way, and it's just phenomenal character work, to be honest, and that's just what she's been doing for the past couple of years now. So Tony Storm, Joe Hulbert, who's getting the vote, and why is it Obafemi?
I don't love this lineup, to be honest. I know it's just what people suggested, so I'm not, blaming you. I'm not saying there's anyone who missed. It just feels a bit weak for the best in the industry.
It does. It does. I agree.
The AEW names are the stronger names. I think Hangman's best promos were very, very good. You know, he's like I wish he had a little more range to get the win, but he's, I think, a strong contender. If Cena was a babyface all year, he would be really in the chase. Unfortunately, he was a heel for 5 months, and that was a severe blow to his case because I did not like his promos as a heel. As a babyface, I thought he actually did his best promo work in like a while. Like his Rumble declaration promo was really good. Obafemi, he's cool, but I don't know about that. I'm looking at Moxley and Tony here. Moxley's there was a stretch in the year where Moxley's promos felt like tonally like all over the place. The start of the year.
Yeah, he got a bit dicey,
didn't he? Did
it?
some great stuff. I'm going to go with Tony Storm here, to be honest with you. I don't think Tony's like flawless as a promo. I thought she had the most interesting promos and also is the most consistent for the bulk of the year. But then towards the end of the year, maybe got a little bit redundant, perhaps. But I look at these candidates and I feel the best about voting for Tony Storm because I think her character and her presentation was most interesting. Tony and Moxley both put a lot of thought into their promos. I think Tony's delivery probably was more to my taste for more of the year. Moxley probably had stretches where he was the best promo in wrestling, but I thought he also had stretches where it was a little bit of a down year for him. So I'm going to take Tony Storm. I would like us to do this in a year and it be a stronger category because promos are very important to a wrestling television show.
Yeah, so if you looked at this list, and it was like it's an award list, and it's Moxley, Cena, Hangman, Obafemi, and Tony Storm, you wouldn't guess that that's a promo list. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't think you would. It is a weird list, admittedly. Normally, when you think of promo people and the best of the best, you think of your Moxleys, your Tonys, but then you also think of, I don't know, like your MJFs and your CM Punks and your Becky Lynches and people like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Who are kind of it's literally like part of why they're so loved, like the great promo people. Although Hangman's cut good promos, you wouldn't call him a promo guy. I wouldn't. Same with Obafemi. You know, he's like the furthest thing from a promo guy on this list. Yeah. You know. Cena obviously is. Mox has become one in AEW, and Tony Storm obviously is. But it's an interesting list, and obviously I think we kind of got to look at like why some of the more obvious names aren't here. You know.
Yeah.
Who else am I missing? People, Joe? Who do you think missed out? Maybe, or
this is a time where
it's a weird list.
There's a lot of great action. There's a lot of great stuff in wrestling.
Samoa Joe.
I do think it's a pretty weak spell for like angles and promos, and
Yes, very.
I don't think there's a lot of like. I don't think you're missing a ton, but I do think this lineup is pretty like. Again, John Cena is capable of being incredible pro, and he cut some great promos, but he had a long stretch in the year where he was doing a heel thing that felt like he was like almost doing a parody, like. And he's here, and like Ober's got a really cool shtick, but like a great promo, like it just.
So and best in the business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Tony's probably the most interesting to me. But yeah, it's not strongest category. Hopefully, it's stronger this year, 2026.
Yeah, but I think you are on the money with like it hasn't been the best year for like promos and angles and shit like that. And he should have been. Cena turned heel. Like he should have, imagine Cena just being like himself.
And like a guy whose promos I love is Jacob, and in 2025 he became like a fucking like an action figure where you push a button and says the same three things, which thankfully looks like he's broken out from. His promo on SmackDown was the best promo on WWE TV, I think, in like a minute. The line he had about they don't make them like me anymore, then they never made them like me was fucking tremendous line because it's true too, which is godly. Yeah, I liked his promo a lot.
Williams. Yeah, just having a look at the chat now.
Trick's got like, he's got like tons of charisma and personality, but like I don't know, it's weird. But very few guys do like traditional wrestling promos now.
Oh, he pops through so much when you do see one though. Like Randy did one on Friday. You see,
I did not know.
He just cut a professional wrestling promo. I think it was with Kathy Kelly, and just putting over the Fatal 4-Way. And he was just a professional wrestling promo putting over a match, you know what I mean? And I've said it before on this channel, like LA Knight, I love LA Knight's promos because he cuts professional wrestling promos about how he's going to show up in front of the fans and kick someone's ass and go on to win the title. You know what I mean? It's a professional wrestling promo, bro. And I completely get your point. Like with Trick Williams, it's like he has all this charisma and he's very entertaining and stuff, but can I see him at this moment? I'm sure he'll get there, but like at this moment, can I think of promos where he's kind of like,
I think he can,
made it more intense, more serious, and talked me into a building or something. Like it's different. Whereas Jacob Fatu Jacob Fatu should be like a default on this list. But as Joe already pointed out, it's like he almost became a character of himself at times this year with the catchphrase and the yada I mean, and someone said in the chat can't forget Tess saying you dada I mean, like it's just it became like a thing, and WWE is so criminal for that, like anytime something gets a bit of heat or something hot, like they have to run it into the ground and catchphrase it and put it on a t-shirt and all gas, no brakes, and it's just like every single time he's on the screen, and it's just, so it just seemed like they've chilled out on that. You get me? Cody Rhodes is another one. Obviously, sometimes you would see on a list like this as well. Cody, obviously, are very confident. He's very good at cutting. How do I explain it? Like top guy promos, like going out there talking to the people, handling. It's like one of the promos where the crowd was a bit weird with him and he'll like win them over. Like he knows how to kind of swim in those waters. He's very, very, very.
He's made a good start to this year as a promo too. He's actually had a lot more interesting stuff on the mic this year.
Yeah, he was great in that Jacob segment. Like because he like knowing his role. Do you know what I mean? And not trying to like out call him, and he knew his role very well. Obviously, who wrote it, don't know, but obviously Cody is very hands on, isn't he? So. But yeah, promos. Tony Storm, I don't think anybody can play that Tony Storm. I do like the John Moxley. The John Moxley moves me though, when he's on.
Oh no, he's when he's
when he's on different level, man.
Yeah.
I'd go as far as saying the best, to be honest. Like obviously, like Samoa Joe, like we haven't seen those heights. That I won't go as far as calling Punk like a disgrace, like some people do in WWE. Obviously, we haven't seen those peaks and heights, for the most part. I miss Kevin Owens. It just hit me. Kevin Owens, another one who's just kind of like one of the straight up best in the business.
Good promo guys didn't even have bad promo years. They just didn't have anything to talk about, which is I want to see more offensive.
Yeah, definitely. Samoa Joe, I don't think was a bad shout. Someone said that earlier.
Yeah, his stuff as a
Samoa
heel
Joe,
is-
it's just Samoa Joe. That it's not like I can't think of him cutting like having the
Yeah.
opportunity and cutting like great
his stuff as a
longer
heel could've been a lot
promos and
better.
stuff.
It
Yeah,
could have been a
yeah.
lot better. Yeah.
He was very
I don't know,
giving though, and
it was a
I
weird year.
respect that. It was a
Weird
weird
year.
year for promos, but that's kind of the list we've somehow ended up with. So vote for whoever you want, you know,
Yes.
and just get involved, people. Don't forget, link in description. Get your votes in ASAP. Someone said Tatum is a good promo. There's loads of good. I'm not saying they're the only 5 good promos in the business. And it's just been a weird for like that top level of promos, you know. So Bianca can cook great promos as well. Naomi, I think like she obviously her heel work this year was very strong. You know, so there's a lot of people to shout out, but when it comes like, oh my god, this is next level stuff, you know, like, there hasn't been that much of it this year. Well, if any of it, you know. All right, so heavyweights, Joe.
Yep.
Heavyweight categories. You locked in.
I'm locked in, bro.
What one do you want to start with?
Let's start.
Heavyweight categories. You want me to read them out to you?
No, I've got them here.
There you
Let's
go. There you
distance wrestler and best in ring,
go. Okay.
and let's do best in ring now, and then we'll do a bro, because otherwise they can kind of just become one segment, right? We'll distance them. Do that form first. Best in ring.
Yeah,
How
definitely.
does that
Let's
work
do
for
it.
you? All right, cool.
Beautiful. It's right here, mate. WrestlePurists Awards nominees for the WrestlePurists Best In-Ring Wrestler of the Year 2025. We have Bandido, Io Sky, Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, and Suri. It always pops me to see Suri on these lists and putting independent in brackets. You know, it always pops me. She, of course, is just doing what she always does, putting on her great shows and main eventing said great shows with great matches that are genuinely worth seeking out 9 times out of 10. When she's booked on other people's shows, she always brings it as well. Just a phenomenal in-ring professional wrestler, Suri is. I think she gets nominated for this most years at this point. Takeshita, what a year he's had across AEW and New Japan, of course, winning the G1, winning the fucking IWGP World Title, winning fucking everything he's done in AEW over the years. So many matches, it's hard to keep count of. You know, if you look at his match guide, it's probably quite overwhelming. Kyle Fletcher, what a year he's had in AEW. A lot of standout performances for him, really coming into his own even more than 2024, to be honest. And he's one of those guys that it's just like it's a matter of time. And when you're so good in ring in AEW, it very much helps. And I think Kyle Fletcher is almost like the epitome of that, you know. What a wrestler. Io Sky, the best in-ring wrestler in WWE by a fucking country mile. Like, it's not even close. Just the level of consistency, whether it's a fucking 10-minute Raw match, whether it's a tag match, whether it's a world title match at WrestleMania. Just a spectacularly special talent Io Sky is. The way she's connected with fans this year as well. She's gone to like another level of stardom, you know. And obviously we can't forget her match in Marigold as well. So she's what a year she's had, you know, in ring and all round. But of course we're talking in ring here, and if you're talking in ring, we can't forget Bandido, who arguably had the match of the year with another person on this list with Takeshita, defending the ROH world titles, doing tag matches with Bandido, and of course showcasing everything he can do in the ring as a singles. His charisma is phenomenal. His physical charisma, the way it comes through. And his performances he never leaves anything out there. You know, he leaves it all out there, should I say. 5 genuinely phenomenal wrestlers. I can see how anybody would vote for any single one of them, to be honest, in this award. I'd go as far as to say this is probably the hardest to pick since tag team, which we did first. So, what are you thinking, Joe? Who's your vote going for?
Well, this is actually a perfect thing to follow the promo category, because, you know, where that one felt kind of weak, this one feels very, very strong, and that's reflective of where we're currently at, right? That makes sense. For me personally, this actually isn't particularly close. but I think they're all great candidates. For me, this is Bandito with a bullet. He is, to me, the guy with not only the deepest 2025 output and catalog, but also I think there's a lot of variety to it. I think his match, even if you just look at the Ring of Honor main event matches, title matches, I should say, even those two major hits are different. Like the Takeshita match to me is very, very different to Hechicero. Then you add on top of that the stuff he was able to do in Mexico, the Brodito tags, his role in some of those aforementioned party matches. I just think body of work wise, I can't look past Bandito here. I love everyone here. They're all great. But man, it felt like every show Bandito was on, he was like a potential show stealer.
He had that match
with that match he had with like Brian Keefe on TV where they did the spot that Jericho immediately tried doing his own match. To me, he in the ring. Wrestler of the Year will be interesting because in WrestlePurists Awards we split Best in Ring and Wrestler of the Year, right? So like, there's more elements. Just in ring, the variety and the depth of Bandito's catalog to me is not. I don't think anyone's competing with it for me personally. So
it's not to
I
be
got
played
Bandito.
with.
Yeah, I just think everyone's got great cases. I think his case is just incredible.
Yeah, he's so good. It's almost kind of like, how did it take this long? I'm not even talking like his injuries and stuff. Like, he's been missing for like a year because of that. Like from before then, like when he was in ROH back in the day. Well, I'll say back in the day. How many years ago was it now? Not that many, but a few.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a phenomenal wrestler. All five had phenomenal years, but like I said, I can see anyone voting for anybody, any one of these for different reasons, But Bandito obviously was spectacular. They all were. They all were. Bandito's variety is a very strong point though to make because as I was just describing their years, it's like it's the ROH matches to fucking I know the match with MJF was recently, but I'm just talking about his versatility and his variety that he brings. The Hechicero match, and then you've got he had different tag matches with Brody. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So like
the Okada and
he has no formula, and that's always I think when we're talking about the elite of the elite like we are here. I think, and that's not to say that all these guys have their typical formulas. I think Takeshita's probably the most formulaic out of these five, Maybe Io, because that kind of comes with WWE, but in her big matches, she is very... It's just a tough one, But Bandito's variety is a very strong point to dwell on. So, best in ring. And, get your votes in, people. Don't forget, link in description. And we'll go to now. We've done best in ring, so we'll do show of the year.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right, it's about some show stealers, Makes sense.
WrestlePurists Awards nominees for the WrestlePurists Show of the Year 2025. AEW All In Texas. WWE Evolution, the all-women's pay-per-view. AEW Double or Nothing. Stardom, All-Star Grand Queendom. And WWE Elimination Chamber. So, AEW All In, of course, the top matches on that show are why that show is here. Hangman's finally getting his... killing the Death Riders, very special moments on that show. AEW's first US stadium show, if you're not counting Arthur Ashe, and a very kind of like it's a special show. It's a very special show in the memory of many AEW fans. WWE Evolution, I thought, was the WWE show of the year quite comfortably. The women. It's a shame they were underserved in terms of the build and the promotion of that show because they deserve the way they showed out on that night. It deserved to be promoted like a fucking WrestleMania or something, AEW Double or Nothing I thought was actually AEW's best show from top to bottom in 2025, what a show that was. Just to quickly go over it, I'm pulling up the cage match now, but it has the what's it called, the Owen Foundation finals on it. So you have Hangman and Ospreay. You have the Anarchy in the Arena match. Okada versus Speedball, Ricochet versus Briscoe in the fucking stretcher match, Mercedes versus Jamie, and a few other really strong matches as well. So, like I said, top to bottom, I thought that was AEW's best show of the year, personally.
Yeah.
Stardom or Grand Queendom. Let me just pull that up again because I know that show has a ridiculous top third. Oh yeah, I've already pulled it up on something else. We have Saya Kamitani versus Tam Nakano, which is the career versus career match, which was phenomenal. Starlight Kid versus Azumi, Shuri versus Mayu. It was a great tag match as well. Hashimoto versus Meiko was very strong on that match as well. Suzu Suzuki versus Mai Sarah. I remember watching that. That was very good as well. This was a very good show, especially looking at it now and refreshing my memory. No surprise that is here. WWE Elimination Chamber. Both Elimination Chamber matches I thought were strong. Of course, you had the huge angle with John Cena turning heel, which of course is quite significant and part of the show. This isn't just what show had the best matches. It's the best show, and of course that was like one of the biggest things to happen in fucking wrestling. You had the Sammy and Kevin match on it as well. There was another match on it. Elimination Chamber 25.
There was both the chamber matches were good, but the men's one only got good after like halfway, right?
Yeah, like the last moments with Cena and Punk were obviously like phenomenal. Yeah, but it's basically, but this is here for the obviously Cena's heel turn, the two chamber matches being strong, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn having a great match in that unsanctioned match, and I think maybe a little bit of sentimental value because it could possibly be Kevin Owens' last match, and of course, like I said, it was the most talked about event by a country mile in the past year, so that ends up on here as well. Joe Hulbert, where's your vote going?
So Grand Queendom is a show where I went piece by piece with the bigger stuff and didn't watch it as a complete show, which through no fault of Grand Queendom is absolutely going to affect my memory of the show. To me personally, with the shows that I remember falling in love with while watching live, is a 2-horse race. It's Evolution or Double or Nothing. Evolution was, I thought, by far the best WWE pay-per-view of the year. It was breezy and energetic and lively. It was wonderful. I loved that show. But the amount of quality on Double or Nothing is going to give it the vote on the ballot. Man, if you're a believer in the kind of like idyllic what AEW should be or the feeling or all that good stuff, that fucking Ospreay Hangman match was like, whoa. They tore the house down. I sense we'll be talking about that more soon. But Double or Nothing on just sheer out quality in the end takes it. And what I will say for Double or Nothing, while it was very, very long, it was not a show that dragged at all for me. I remember watching it live on the air, and it was like, I was happy to be there for 4.5 hours watching that show. Like, more than happy watching it.
Yeah.
You know? So, that's a case of, like, each show's different, pace different. I thought that show was wonderful.
They got the match order very right on that show. And it is something that I always find myself almost criticising AEW about after most pay-per-views. Like, this could have helped the women's match if they put it here, or this tag match might not have been as quiet if they put it here. Whereas I think with Double or Nothing, like I said, top to bottom, I think they got it. I think it's one of the best shows I've ever done, from top to bottom, to be honest. And that, obviously AEW's pay-per-view record, that's fucking big. That's a big statement, you know. What a show.
Yeah, they're all, you know, strong candidates. I do again want to know, like, Evolution was fucking awesome, and everyone involved internally should be like ashamed of how few people saw it by comparison, because I mean, that show was so much better than the other stuff put out, but it was so poorly promoted by comparison, which is so on brand in a range of ways. But as a show, it was great. But Double or Nothing just pips it for me on just how much good stuff. Lest we forget, like, even you think of Mercedes and Jamie, right, which gets no love really in the memory. Match is great.
Yeah, the opener, isn't it?
the Briscoe Ricochet. Oh my god, there's so much great stuff on that show. So yeah, Double or Nothing for me. Yeah.
Variety as well. It was a phenomenal show. For me though, I'd go with one of the middle three. I think. Like, yeah, definitely, it has to be one of the middle three. Like, I couldn't bring myself in good faith to vote for one of the top two. No, one of the All In or Elimination Chamber. Although I can understand why they're there.
Yes, Chamber was a really good show, but it was just, it feels. I think if Cena's heel turn goes differently, you'd feel more comfortable like considering it.
Yeah, that's it. It's kind of an awkward one, isn't it? Because you've got to like evaluate the turn, like not all the crap they did after, because that wasn't on Elimination Chamber. Do you know what I mean? By the end of Elimination Chamber, that's what we're talking about, you know. So yeah, we've got the show of the year, and I think it would make sense to then go straight into. I need to zoom out a little bit. Show of the year. Where is? Oh fuck off, man! Where is it? I thought it was like next to it, but it's not. Okay, nominees. Done that one. Done that one.
We're in the heavyweight awards now.
We are. I'm looking for match of the year. So if you
match
see
of the
it,
year,
yeah,
always a big one.
Year. Best on promos, rest of the year, best in ring.
Yeah, the Chamber show. I do remember the vibes after that being pretty electric. I do remember that.
If I type in Gabe, because Gabe Kidd is
Sapolsky
nominated. Right, this pisses me off. This does. The search feature on this app is so bad.
It's not the smoothest Oscars ceremony I've ever seen, but it's really a great time.
Normally, I'd pull it down.
Yeah. A lot of Gabe.
Where the fuck?
I don't know. While he tends to this problem, folks, we've got a few awards left. We hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, smash the like button. We're about to dive in.
Bang.
There it is.
Genius, you see? My genius. WrestlePurists Awards nominees for the WrestlePurists Match of the Year 2025. Toni Storm versus Mariah May, the Hollywood ending at AEW Revolution. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 41. Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page at AEW All in Texas. Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page at AEW Double or Nothing. Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd at the Dome at Wrestle Dynasty. They all speak for themselves. Toni Storm versus Mariah May was like a moment in time.
Yeah.
A match of a lifetime kind of vibe, you know. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania felt like a real moment as well, especially for the women. Io Sky winning that as well was a phenomenal touch on that. Hangman finally taking down the Death Riders, a very special moment for Hangman's career. Of course, recapturing the world title again, and of course, just kind of for his fans and that journey, you know. And, of course, ending the arc of the Death Riders' stranglehold on the promotion. Ospreay versus Hangman, as we were just kind of briefly talking about, a phenomenal pay-per-view main event that kind of almost symbolised what AEW is supposed to be at its best, you know. And then Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd has one of the performances of the decade from Kenny Omega, in my opinion. Gabe Kidd as well, he brings it, of course. It wasn't a carry job by any means, but that Kenny Omega a performance in that match is genuinely like otherworldly, you know. So who are you going with, Joe? 5 phenomenal special matches.
This is tough. Yeah, I mean, again, we talk about there's been a lot of great in-ring work. Man, Tony and Mariah was sensational. I was in attendance for Io, Rhea, and Bianca. They just tore it up. Io Sky has felt more belonging on a WrestleMania stage than anyone I've seen in some time. Not to say, you know, any less for Rhea and Bianca. All in, you have that triumph, that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny back at the Dome, but I'm returning to Double or Nothing for the Owen final. I thought Ospreay and Hangman was just sublime. I just thought it was absolutely extraordinary. It had I knew it'd be a great match, but it had more of a traditional pace than I expected.
Yeah.
And they really took their time, and like the amount they got out of just the lock up early and the clean breaks and Ospreay's back injury and how just overwhelming the drama was by the end. I just thought that was, to me, the gold standard for this year. And it was a great year for wrestling, inside the ropes again in particular. My 2 seed would probably be Hollywood Ending, and then I'll probably look at Kenny and Gabe. But all of these are worthy winners, but I don't know. Ospreay and Hangman was something special. It really was. And they followed a 4-hour pay-per-view. They followed Anarchy in the Arena.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they went out there and did that. It was just a superb match. That would be my vote.
It'd probably be a different order, but I think we've got the same top 3.
Yeah.
I think we've got the same top 3. I don't know. I don't actually know. Like, I need to know because I need to get my own vote in pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I still haven't picked one. I struggle between those 3: the Hollywood Ending, Double or Nothing, and Kenny versus Gabe. I think because like you just mentioned briefly, like Kenny back in the dome, and it's just like that mode that he's in that match is.
He's amazing in that match. Yeah.
I'd probably say that might be the best performance on this list in terms of individual.
Maybe Moxley in Texas was. Whew.
Yeah, I know. Even that would be hard. That would actually be kind of a cool award without like overdoing awards, like performance of the year. Like individual performance of the year. I might add that. Yeah, Moxley's performance in that, Kenny's performance in this, Tony in the Hollywood Ending, you know. Yeah, all of them. all what 2, 4, 6, 8, 11. All 11 wrestlers put in phenomenal performances on the night, you know.
Absolutely.
So, shout out to them. A very hard category again. But that's what the heavyweight fights are about, people, you know. And so that's show of the year, match of the year. I just need to quickly double check what we've actually got left. So we have Women's Wrestler of the Year and Wrestler of the Year, I think. Is that it? I'm going to read these out. Tell me if we've done them, Joe.
Okay.
Tag team.
Yes, FTL.
Match.
Ospreay Hangman.
Come on. Show.
Yeah. Yep.
Promotion.
Yep, same.
Booker.
Tony Khan.
Non-wrestler.
Adam Pearce.
In-ring.
Bandito.
On promos.
Tony Storm.
Improved.
We did it. I don't know who I voted for.
Callum Newman.
Callum Newman, that's right.
Most underrated.
That was Fallon Henley, we did that.
And Rookie.
And Rookie was Seri Yamaoka.
Yes. Okay, so we've got 2 there. We've got Women's Wrestler of the Year and we've got Wrestler of the Year.
Main event time,
this
folks.
now.
Here we go. 2 awards left.
Now, if I type in wrestler, this shit better just come up nice and smoothly, you know? Fuck.
Adam Pearce. There's the nominee tweets there. Great JC Jane tweet. Seen a lot of great tweets tonight, folks. Shout out our guy Jamie. Some wonderful tweets. Some Wrestler of the Weeks here.
Remember when we
There's
used
a
to do
blast
Wrestler of
from
the
the
Week? We
past,
might have to
bro.
bring that back, you know?
The always controversial Wrestler of the Week.
Why does she not want to... There's... Okay, boom, there we go. I was about to start cursing.
Take it easy.
Alright, WrestlePurists Awards. Nominees for the WrestlePurists Women's Wrestler of the Year 2025. The women can also be nominated for Wrestler of the Year, as you will see that one of them is. But yeah, we do a women's category as well. So, nominees for the Women's Wrestler of the Year 2025. Mercedes Moné, Ultimo Moné, Io Sky, Saya Kamatani, Toni Storm, and Suri. Mercedes Moné, actually kind of surprised it's the first time she's popped up on this on this show, on this stream, on these awards, on these nominee lists. Of course, belt collecting, and with belt collecting comes traveling around the world, having the best matches you can with lesser known talents and stuff. And I think Mercedes has done a very good job of bringing new eyes to different places, and I really do pop for kind of her being this world traveling, you know what I mean, wrestler champion. You don't really see too much of that anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously in AEW now she's only just dropped the TBS title, and I think hopefully she's about to go on like a completely different direction, as I do think that some people were kind of getting a little bit frustrated with kind of the repetitiveness of, like, you know, Mercedes goes and wins a title, comes back, successfully defends TBS, goes away, wins a title, comes back, you know what I mean? I assume, my assumption is that fans were kind of getting a little tired of that, even if they didn't want her to drop or start losing or be off the TV. It's something different, you know, and it does seem like they're going in that direction now. So we'll see how that plays out when she's back and active. But what a year she had in 2025, a historic year. The PWI Women's #1, of course. Yeah, just what a year, and so many accolades. It'd be too long to go through, you know. Io Sky, all the stuff I said about her when we was talking in ring, but also just kind of seeing. I mentioned it briefly, but just like seeing her go to the next level of stardom in WWE. She was always like a popular wrestler, but she's genuinely like one of the names in the division now. So yeah, man, what a year she has had. Of course, the Marigold stuff that she did, and just like the popularity that she's the popularity she's been able to garner this year, the success of tag teaming with Rio, and how much people enjoy and like that, you know, and yeah, man, she's our current women's tag team champion as well. So yeah, what a year she's had, with a lot of variety. I think even like the backstage segments, you know, like people just love her, bro. Like it's in all areas, you know. Saya Kamatani, what a year she's had, basically carrying Stardom and just like leading them to having a solid year, when, I don't know, it's kind of looking a little uncertain at times, you know, before. And yeah, even at the start when she first turned heel, people were very unsure about it. And yeah, she's managed to completely kill that. She actually won the Tokyo Sports MVP, the first woman to do so. So what a phenomenal achievement. Tony Storm, again, just this timeless run is one for the ages, you know. Just what a wrestler she's become over these past few years, and it's never a surprise to see her in these conversations. Obviously, the Hollywood ending probably the highlight. It would be the highlight of anybody's year if you have a match like that, you know. And then Sareee doing what Sareee does, bro. You know, she's always gonna pop up on a list like this because that's what she does. A real professional, bro. You know, goes around, just has great matches with people, and she just does the thing. It's what she does, you know. And if you fuck with it, you fuck with it heavy, and it wouldn't surprise me if you voted for her. But 5 very, very, very accomplished women, especially when you just kind of trying to recap it just now quickly. Yeah, history makers, bro. Genuine history makers on this list. Yep. What a year for women's wrestling.
Yeah, indeed. There are times where you wanted there to be more creative support for the talent, but the talent was just amazing and often shattered expectations. This is very difficult.
It is.
I think.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Mercedes, as well.
Yes, absolutely. She had a great year. One of the greats all time. But a lot of the debate appears to be Io versus Monet. But I'm not voting for Io or Monet. I'm approaching Wrestler of the Year, Women's Wrestler of the Year with I'm not a box office guy, but I am what they mean to the show they are on.
Yeah.
And Saya Kamatani is someone that I have seen a couple matches, and I don't want to do a disingenuous vote. Based on what I've seen, it does not strike me that Saya Kamatani would be a Hulbert favourite. I think that what Toni Storm meant to the AEW Women's title was legitimately so significant that we're now only just fully appreciating what she meant to that belt and that division. I also think Toni Storm, because she is such a gimmick and a character and a persona, while she does not have as many great matches as Io or Monet, I think she has more very good matches than the memory may suggest. With Hollywood ending, she would probably have my favourite match of anyone here, 2025.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, when I think about her performance in Blood and Guts, which was terrific, when I think about her performance against Mercedes Moné and their match together in Texas, where they had a main event worthy match in a stadium, when I think about her performance as an underneath babyface against Megan Bayne, or I was there, so I'm slightly biased, but I like what she did with Athena. I even thought some of her more low-key matches, like the Statlander and Mina matches, were really quite good. And in addition to all of that, she had that fucking Philly street fight at the 2300 with Sky Blue, which was a hoot. I think Toni Storm is such a gimmick that her in-ring is taken for granted. And I also think when Io Sky was world champion, unfortunately, she was neglected by creative in a way that was very frustrating.
Yeah.
And as great as Mercedes has meant a ton to the wrestling world, which is why she's a very, very valid candidate, but she has never meant as much on AEW TV as I've wanted her to.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
By contrast, Toni Storm legitimately felt like the ace of the entire division and at times promotion over the summer. So I'm going to take timeless Toni Storm. Controversial, I know, but I'm doing what I believe is the right thing.
Hey, man. I think all 5 women deserve your vote, mate. Yeah. So I can't argue against anybody getting a vote here. Another one that I still am yet to vote on because it's just all the cases are very different as well. Like Mercedes has a very unique case. Io's obviously we've been the only WWE
awesome.
woman. They're all, but I'm just talking about like how different the cases are.
Hard comparing, right? Yeah.
Sayers, like what I mean, like the box office and the winning Tokyo MVP as a Joshi. What I mean? It's what a year she's had. Toni, of course, is kind of like the staple of the division kind of case, and then Cerise always similar, I guess. There's nothing like Cerise. Do you know what I mean? Like Cerise, like this thing in the industry that we all appreciate, or some may take for granted, or not be aware of, or whatever. But if you know, you know what I mean. You know what Cerise up to. I know what she's gonna do this year as well. Do you know what I mean? She'll be on this list again most likely. So, very different cases, but all very unique, special, historic cases for the most part. So, women's wrestling was the talent especially was very special this year. And then now, if we go to the big one, Joe, the very big one, the one everyone's here for.
They're all big ones, but this is a really big one.
This is the one everyone's waiting for you to speak on, and I think it's quite a weird list, but fuck it, we'll do it because it's been a weird year in wrestling. It's been a weird year in wrestling, so I think that reflects in this list. But I've actually already picked mine, and it's probably not in most respect, but whatever.
Oh man, Cena! Wow.
I actually see the media's votes and who they've voted for. So like I've seen the people who have voted for Cena, and not one of them has surprised me thus far.
Beast mode. Right.
Because people are voting for John Cena and the media voting people. It's just a matter of fact, Right, the WrestlePurists Awards nominees for the big one, the WrestlePurists Wrestler of the Year 2025. We have Mystico, Hangman Adam Page, Bandido, Io Sky, and John Cena. Mystico goes hand in hand with all the stuff we said about CMLL over this stream. He has been the headliner of a lot of these Arena Mexico sellouts. I think he directly headlined over 25 of them or something like that. He was the co-main event on most of the rest. What Joe was just saying about Toni and what she means to that division, what Mystico means to CMLL as a promotion is actually quite staggering, to be honest. And I think that has just been able to be wonderfully showcased throughout 2025. So he's here. Hangman Adam Page finally has his arc back to the AEW World Championship and has his then World Championship reign. And of course, he has a lot of highlight matches. 2 of them are nominated for Match of the Year. Displays the kind of year that he had. Bandido already got the Hulbert vote for Best in Ring, and I think a lot of a lot of his case is tied to that, but that just goes to show how strong of an in-ring year he's had, you know. But he's also held his own. I know this was this year, but like when he's been live with MJF in the ring and stuff like that, he's held his own. He's done his thing, you know. The backstage segments, he's very endearing, you know. Then you've got Io Sky. Again, talking about Io Sky, she's if you haven't been able to tell, she's nominated for the most awards across the awards this year. So, I don't even know what I can say more about Io Sky at this point. Joe, say something about Io Sky, please.
She's really good, bro. She's really, really good. There are times where she comes out of Rhea Ripley and feels like the biggest star, which is like, it's like walking into a fast food restaurant with me and looking more excited, you know? It's pretty impressive.
Wonderfully said. And John Cena, again, divisive. Like, there's probably, I think, especially with like kind of like our YouTube streaming audience, like we've probably got a lot of people thinking like, how the fuck has this happened? But the people who've, just as much as you hate it, some people have loved it. And some people, and also, like Mystico, John Cena has drew a lot of fucking business this year.
Yes,
and when we're talking just wrestler of the year, that is obviously, everyone's criteria is different, but that obviously counts quite significantly. And, you know, he did also have his good moments, you know what I mean? Like Elimination Chamber, before the Rumble. He was quite cool in the Rumble as well. Then obviously the second Cody match was phenomenal. His retirement match, say what you want about the finish and the small tap out and that, but he had a great match with Gunther as well. The match with AJ. You know, like he has, even though there's a lot of shit to kind of sift through, there is still, you do still have like your, you know, your gem moments that you can kind of build the rest of the year case with. And then when you combine that with all the business he's done this year, it's like, he's here, you know. So, Mystico, Hangman, Bandido, Io, and Cena. Yep. Joe Hulbert.
Yeah.
Think about this. What you got to say?
I march the beat of my own drum, Montel. That's why I picked Tony Storm. And I mentioned that, yes, it is very important to me what someone means in their home promotion, their stature. But the reason I was able to look at that part of the conversation was because I also felt Tony had a top-end piece of work that matched up with her peers, you know, with Hollywood Ending. Because to me, the most important thing is still the work. And so, I'm looking at Hangman, and I'm looking at Bandido.
Okay.
Hangman, the centerpiece of AEW's best spot of the year, best period of the year. Bandido, less significance in terms of centerpiece. But man, I don't think that means he didn't mean a lot, that he still didn't mean a lot to the shows when the actual bell rung, you know? And about 2 hours ago, I said something to you that's very important. I like a narrative, Montel. I like a narrative. I'm a writer. Yes. I like a narrative. Bandido returned to the ring after 18 months on the shelf. Ate a violent concussion on the first thing he did. Came back, had a feud with Chris Jericho that could well have killed him off. And went on to become
the best wrestler in the world.
The most prolific wrestler inside the ropes of the entire year. And when I look at the other cases, there are things I don't love about each case. For that reason, I'm going narrative, I'm going in-ring, I'm going with Bandido. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, man. Respect. Yeah, man. There it is, people. Joe Hulbert locking in his vote. For... Yeah, man. We done it, people. We made it through. We grinded through. Joe Hulbert, big fan of Bandido. You know. He's very much... I like our nominees. There's a couple weird lists, but I think that's more reflective of the year in wrestling rather than like kind of, I guess, our audience. I have a lot of faith in this audience, Joe. Even the Twitter audience, which obviously is a lot more vast than what we've got here. The sickos that lock in with us on the streams. But Well, obviously with WrestlePurists, we do try to cover as much of the main wrestling stories and world. So it's not like we have like a WWE leaning audience, even though that's what most people would have told you. After last, I think it was last year's awards where WWE did so strongly and people were quite mad about it, but WWE did have a good couple of years, bro. So it's just kind of like
it's just
how it
reflective
goes,
of what a lot of people are seeing too. That's the reality. Is that there's
Yeah.
a lot of us aren't seeing everything, and that's not to say that's the right thing. It's just the reality, right? So it's I think it's a strong. There's an interesting range of awards there. I think my picks would be pretty controversial in some segments, but a lot of the awards, honestly, I thought everyone involved could win. Like especially those heavyweight ones. All of them are pretty worthy candidates, right? So the Cena thing, you'd have to go on a very box office route, but some people, that's their priority.
Yeah, some people do, ain't like
so
for me. I know I've not given away any much of my votes, but even though again, and it's not like I'm oblivious to this, that I'm not the hugest CMLL locked in every week on Arena Mexico one,
right.
But I struggle to not vote for them in the in the categories that they're up for. So like, promotion of the year, Booker of the year, Mystico Wrestler of the year, Mystico's gem in terms of in ring would probably be the MJF match.
Yeah, and that was great.
Mass match.
That was great.
And what else we got? He's just very good though. Like he had a match with Bandido last year.
Yeah. Which
was very good. Do you know what I mean? Like he has a very good standard, and obviously he wrestles a fucking lot, bro. So
he does.
He wrestles the most out of those four by far.
He's probably the right choice in a lot of ways. He's
there's no such thing as a right choice, is there?
But like in the sense that if you've been like mathematical about it, and like each department you weighed up evenly, like he probably
score out of 10 in each.
Yeah, he probably ticks most. His work isn't my favorite. He's a guy I more appreciate as a star than that I like watch and go, man, I love Mystico's matches, which is fine. Same for a lot of guys, it's fine. Subjective, right? But
Dave went 5.5 on the mass versus mass match. No, total mass match.
Dave loves the business.
He does, just like us, mate. Just like us. Dave's awards will be sometime in February as well. I think they'll be a little bit after ours. So it's award season, people. Very important time of year, Fuck the Rumble. We got the newsletter and the WrestlePurists Awards coming out.
Yes, sir.
Real shit. LNG award season's just been and gone as well.
Yeah.
Big time, do you know what I mean? Dwayne got snubbed.
Yep. And it's proof I can't be bought either because Mystico quote tweeted his award, Golden Grinning win. I don't know if you saw that. He won the weekly Bob Zerver's Needle Mover of the Year. He quoted it with a thank you. So, and I still didn't give him a Wrestler of the Year. Unbiased, calling it down the middle. Anyway, vote for FTR. Cold.
Right, Joe, what are you up to then? You want to plug some stuff or what are we doing?
I have some stuff to record tonight, but I haven't got any shows tonight. But coming up later this week, we have Grin Grappler the Road Warriors on Thursday, live and free around 9 Eastern. Head-to-head with TNA, our new rival promotion at Grin Grappler. And then Friday, we're back in LNG Hall of Fame season. What is the LNG Hall of Fame, you ask? Well, this is how I'll explain it. Last year's ballot was as follows. Machine Gun Carl Anderson, Nick Bockwinkel, Alexa Bliss, FTR, and Jack Crosby. This year, we see which Titans are added to the LNG Hall of Fame. That will be this Friday, live and free, 11:05 Eastern.
Someone said you skipped my super chat from earlier. So GMB, if you want to just type it again, bro, I'll read it out now.
Yeah.
But you've only got like 2 minutes to do this before I'll run out of here. Yeah.
I think it was the judgment. I think it was the one that said Raquel, Roxy, Liv was more likely than Steph Liv. I think. I'm almost certain that's what it was. Cal was just demanding in the chat.
We getting Mania teases tonight. I mean, it is the week before the Rumble.
Yeah.
Well, it's the week of the Rumble, should I say. Yeah, I don't know.
There it is.
Right, but there it is. He was right, Joe. I think
Oh,
Liv, Raquel, Steph is way more likely than Liv, Steph, and Mania. Yeah,
Yes,
so
it
do
is.
I. So do I.
Liv Steph doesn't really pass the smell test, I must say.
It
as a
doesn't.
singles.
It just doesn't, does it?
No. No. You could talk me into Liv winning the Rumble because Liv is a big star, but I just don't know about that particular match. Like, it just doesn't feel like a Mania match to me.
Yeah, it just feels like again, like Liv wins the belt.
Yeah.
And then you've got like Liv holding the belt. There's different dynamics in it, whether it's with Raquel, whether it's with Roxanne, whether it's literally with a babyface on the roster. Like there's Liv winning the belt as soon as possible opens up the most doors in the division. I think, so that's who I think should be the world champion right now. As much as I love Steph, it's nothing against Steph. It's just that like they clearly don't have any fucking ideas for her, do they? Do you know what I mean? I know she just got hurt. I know she just got hurt for a couple of weeks, but couple of weeks of how many months? So, they obviously don't. They're not very creative these days.
I haven't noticed.
Worldwide, the Fed, So, yeah, man. Vote now, people. Link is in the description. Link will stay in the description, of course. The voting will stay open for like the next 2 days. Don't quote me on that, even though I don't know who else you'd ask if you can't trust me. Check the page on the
Dave.
website. If you click the link in the description, it will tell you. It'll tell you everything you need to know, people. But yeah, get your votes in. Please make sure you get your votes in. Massively appreciate you guys for hanging out and watching us get very deep in the weeds here. Very technical terms being used. But we love it. You know what I mean? We love this business, and we're going to continue to love this business in 2026. And who knows? We might start getting back up on the main channel a bit more. This was a first outing on the main channel in a while. I think we need to get back to it. Build up the crew again. So yeah, please like, subscribe, comment. Appreciate the few super chats we got. Appreciate you guys just engaging with us in general. Appreciate those of you who are members and join us on Fridays for the Joe and Monty show, where we just talk about who knows. We try to keep it topical, but who knows? We've got Tempest and Sat. They do the Dynamite review, which people enjoy as well. So, yeah, man, if you're a member, we much appreciate that. But we appreciate you all nonetheless, and hopefully we'll be seeing you again pretty soon. So, please like and subscribe, and have a good week. Peace.